Hello? Hello. Everybody, happy Monday. You're very welcome along to another Microsoft Flight Simulator stream as we start another week. The beginning of the week. And tonight, friends, well, we check out this thing, the Vulcan. It's a long time coming, this. Who's in charge? So, it's due to release tomorrow by Just Flight, and
dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
We got the details last week, price and everything else. So tonight's plan is to give us an introduction, learn a little bit about this aircraft. How do we start it up and actually, fly the devil? And then we're going to take it for a flight. It's a ferry flight. It's a very ferry flight, and we're going to put in the flight plan and get everything set up and running, and we'll see how it goes. It's not terribly hard to fly, but then again, it's not terribly easy to fly. It's the sort of plane that will try and kill you if you get it wrong. But alas, we shall be grand lads. We'll worry about all the stuff later. You know what I mean? If there was ever going to be a super villain, with a bomber, it was Dr. Evil. I mean, he'd have one of these, wouldn't he? I mean, he would, right? So yes, we're going to give it an old bash. Hope you're keeping well. How was your weekend? I was very distant off the airwaves, but now I'm back. And, well, we've got a busy week ahead of us this week, and then the week after. It's flat out now, between now and Christmas. Looking forward to it, though. So I hope you guys are keeping very, very well. I hope you had a great weekend. And we're going to settle into tonight's flight as we check out this Avro Vulcan. So if you're watching us here on YouTube, a very good evening to you. Hope you guys are keeping well. And to our friends on Twitch. Haha, yes, the Twitch family. It's great to see you. You're looking well. Did you do something with your eyebrows? I think it's fantastic. Do you know? Right, so we have a flight plan and some information to share along the way. So I'll start at the beginning, which is the best place to start. FireFly Jet Series, the Avro Vulcan. Yes, friends, it's an introduction and a ferry flight. We will be doing a long haul special with this thing soon when it's released and we're all used to it, right? The Avro Vulcan, later the Hawker Siddeley Vulcan from July 1963, is a jet-powered, tailless, delta-wing high-altitude strategic bomber, which was operated by the Royal Air Force from 1956 up until 1984. Aircraft manufacturer Avro, or Avro, based out of Manchester, right? They designed the Vulcan in response to the specification B.3546. And of the three V-bombers produced, the Vulcan was considered the most technologically advanced, hence the riskiest option. I love that. Damn thing is so dangerous to fly, it's going to be the best thing to fly. Several reduced-scale aircraft designated as the Avro 707s were also produced to test and refine the delta wing design principle. The Vulcan, funny enough, had no defensive weaponry. Initially relying upon high-speed, high-altitude flight to evade interception, electronic countermeasures were employed by the B-1, designation the B-1 Alpha, and the B-2 from around 1960. A change to low-level tactics was made in the mid-1960s, and in the mid-1970s, 9 Vulcans were adopted for maritime radar reconnaissance operations, and they were redesignated as the B-2 MRR. In the final years of service, 6 Vulcans were converted to the K-2 tanker configuration, and they were used for aerial refueling. I will chat all about its operational history, what they ended up doing, but also we'll chat about the surviving aircraft that exist in the world today. Some are static. One, up until very recently, was still flying, and one is still in a ground operation state, right? They're allowed to taxi the thing. These things are just, even to today's standard, they were cutting edge. They were cutting edge, right? So tonight's flight, we're going to take a look and start learning how to operate this Vulcan, right? We depart RAF Waddington, Echo Golf X-Ray Whiskey, and we're going to make our way over to a number of the old bomber dispersal bases, right? They were actually a thing. We're going to be making a stop at RAF Aldergrove, based out of Belfast, Echo Golf Alpha Alpha, and then a full stop landing at RAF Lossiemouth in Echo Golf Quebec Sierra. There's also some nice freeware. You'll grab it over there on Discord for those two airports, the one here in Waddington and in Lossiemouth as well, or Lossiemouth. So the flight plan is available on Discord. I'm going to put it in here on Navigraph. If you've never seen Navigraph before, or if you ever wondered or scratched your head, or even just looked puzzled as a goat would staring at thunder, and the goat doesn't know what it is, right? When you open up Navigraph, if you click on New Flight, yes, and up the top right hand corner, you have this little gadget that says Enter Text Route. We're going to click on that. And in here, you're just going to type in your waypoints, right? Which is dead handy. So it's going to be Echo Golf X-Ray Whiskey, spacebar. Then it's going to be Echo Golf Alpha Alpha, spacebar. And then finally, Echo Golf Quebec Sierra. There's the three of them. We're going to hit done. And if you've done it right, it's going to load in our waypoints. This is what the flight is going to look like today. Very typical of Murph. We're going to start here, go over there a bit, and then go up another little bit. Flight time is just under 2 hours. So it's going to give us a chance to, I suppose, learn the characteristics of hand flying the aircraft. There is an autopilot. There's an absolute deluge of other systems that we can kind of get lost in. We'll keep things fairly simplistic. It's enough to be able to, provide you to be able to flick a couple of switches and start enjoying this add-on. It's due out tomorrow, right? Basically a big V, Super Typhon. You know me too well. If you turn the screen kind of side... Wait, hang on, I can do that, can't I? Can I turn the... Right? Some say Murphy should have been like, an artist or something. Right? It's a V. Funny that, isn't it? But yes, it's basically a big V. Anyway, so that's what the flight is going to look like. So we're on the ground down here, and we'll see what way the winds are favouring. I think it's going to be a runway 02 departure, and we're just going to kind of cycle around Lincoln, and then we're going to ramble across. It's a very powerful airplane. It's massively powerful. The engine's powered by 4 Rolls-Royce Olympus. These are the 301 variants. They don't have that iconic howl. Right, the 201s have that howl, and Just Flight released a video earlier on showcasing them. And the whole package, the 201s and the 301s, are going to be available to purchase tomorrow. So you get the whole shebang, lads, right? It also comes with the different variants, including the strategic bomber, the K2 variant, and of course the maritime reconnaissance version as well. Pretty cool, right? So Just Flight will equip us on purchase with a manual. Friends, a huge manual. It's absolutely bananas. In fact, there are 156 pages of how to do the thing with the yoke and the thing. There's a lot of reading in this. But what I like about it, typical kind of Just Flight standards, they chat about what the stuff is all about and why it is. Do you know what I mean? So like if you're wondering, what is a JPT limiter? Do you know? Well, it works to prevent the jet pipe temperature limiting being exceeded. It's controlled by the on-off switch located aft of the takeoff cruise switch. With the switch on, jet pipe temperatures are controlled automatically. With the switch off, the limiter is overridden and the JPTs must be controlled by throttle movement. Just one example. There's loads, right? There's loads. So it'll teach you all the systems. The manual also comes with its own introductory flight, and that'll pretty much hold your hand to get the thing up and running to see how you can kind of fare out in it before it all goes terribly wrong. All right, not to say it'll go terribly wrong, but I reckon it will. Do you know? So, speed of this aircraft, it wasn't known as like supersonic of hitting the Mach. It can get very, very close to it. And there were some reports that these things hit Mach 1. But the early idea was these were to carry a nuke. They were a first strike or a retaliation strike aircraft that had the capability of launching a nuke or flying a nuke to its destination within something like 3 hours. And at the time, it was aimed at the Soviet Union during the Cold War. I mean, this was a product of the Cold War, right? And it can carry all sorts of jiggery-pokery when it came to weapons and payload and all the jazz, right? Of course, then later on in life, as I said, it became a maritime reconnaissance aircraft and then a air refueler, which was interesting. It didn't actually see combat, operational combat that is, until the Falklands War back in the 1980s. And we'll chat about those missions that were flown as well, because even to this day, they are staggering, right? Now, some of you might be aware of Avro. You've heard that name before. Avro, yes. Didn't they make other aircraft? Well, yes, they did. Avro company based out of Manchester. Only a couple of years before the Vulcan was like a drawing on the back of a bit of newspaper, Avro released the Lancaster. So you can imagine in the space of something like 4 or 5 years, that's all we're talking, lads, 4 or 5 years. from the Avro Lancaster came the Avro Vulcan. It's staggering when you think about it, right? And of course, the foundations and the genetics of this aircraft, well, it went on into some of the more modern aircraft, Concorde, the B2, and so on and so forth. It's quite staggering, right? So anyway, there's lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff to chat about. But before we get going, let's say hello to everybody, and hopefully my chat hasn't, disappeared. And if I don't say hello to someone, sure, just start shouting at me. It always works, Bell Bro is here. Super Typhon, welcome in. Viper Strike, good to see you. Mutt Lee is in the house, along with Chocks. You're looking well, lads. Robert J56, Eagle Castella, you're very welcome in. Sterling is in the house. Seems like a great day to take the Hawker Hunter out for a spin. Oh yes, good call. The Hawker Hunter, of course, is freeware, and Flying Iron are working on a payware version of that. Looking forward to it, man. Bell Bro, it's good to see you. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Welcome in. Abo 92 is here. We are very good to see you. Naughty Gnome is here. It's good to see you, man. Happy Monday. Hope all is well. Wombat 49. Let the howling begin. Good day to you. Hope all is well, Wombat. Husker Do is in the house. You're looking mighty. Serious Wolf is here along with Toto. Welcome in, man. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope you're keeping very well. Martel is here. 20% of the week is over already. I like that thinking. We're nearly there. Yes, it's the last Monday before Friday. It's going to be grand, right? It'll be grand. Kozaki Flyer, good to see you. Sierra 36 is watching us over on YouTube. Very good day to you, sir. Hope all is well. Who else is here? Black Eyes Gabe is here. Gabe! We have a Black Eyes Gabe. It's good to see you, Gabe. You're very welcome in, man. Now, who else is here? It's very busy, isn't it? Now, let me see. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Hope you're well. Monty, 1964, watching us on YouTube, says, hope the Lancaster is just as good. Well, here's hoping. Here's hoping. That thing is coming out soon as well. We shall have to wait and see. Canoe Head 2 rambles in. He says, last Monday of the month. Oh, dear. Make it the best. Canoe Head, how are you, man? You're looking well. Now, who else? Ski Free. Welcome aboard. Ski Free Yeti, even. That's a fantastic name. QC Frank is here. Can't believe I'm going to miss this stream. I don't believe you. But the good news is, Frank, it'll be on YouTube, so you can watch it back later on. Hello, QC Frank, from the past. That'll be in the future. Jesus, that's very confusing. But you know what I mean. Nightsep, good to see you. Welcome in. Soaring AJ is in the chat. Welcome aboard. Phoenix Black. Hello, Phoenix Black. You're looking well. John Drace is here. He says, let's get howling. Indeed. And, howl away. Renoir, good to see you. Eagle Airways, good to see you. Welcome in, lads. Dragon 617 is here. Vulcaneers. I love it, the Vulcaneers. Scorpio 49 rambles in. Please promise you won't hit the big red button tonight. Ah, no, Ted, come on. Did you see the amount of friggin' red buttons in this thing? Right, it'll be fine. It'll be grand. I passed the test as in not immediately exploding, right? Now, it'll take us a while, but we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. But yes, now, Captain Meowington's good to see you. He's in the bush. Good evening. That's a great name. Hope you all had a fantastic start to the week. And to you, I had a busy one. I was in work today. Well, I'm in work every day, but it was busy. A flat out busy day tomorrow. I'm not going to see home time till very late tomorrow. I have a meeting late in the day. It's positively night time. But anyway, it'll be grand. But yes, and I have IKEA stuff coming on Friday. Or at least that's the hope. Blowy Wheel, my wallet is crying already. Shh, say nothing, it's totally fine. Paper Freaks, welcome aboard. Hope you're well, my dude. Tarnish Mossman is here. Good to see you, man. Now, Prime TMP, welcome in. Who else is here? Crompton, not terribly hard or terribly easy. That sounds terribly middle. Sounds terribly nice. But yes, good to see you, Crompton. But yes, now, watch the Forza stream. You had fun with that. Did you see the blatant cheating of Muse Fan? Speak of the devil, Muse Fan is here. How he is his mad jokes. That's good to see you, Muse. Fancy seeing you here at this time of the night. But yes, we had a good bit of crack with Forza last Friday night. It's a great game. Celestial Navigator. You're very welcome in. I love your work. The man can navigate by the stars. Hence the name. Big 10-4, good buddy. Youth Jesus. You're very welcome in. Good to see you. We were racing against someone who was very good, though, on Friday night. Yeah, do you know? Remember the time you played Fallout? Or no, was it Fallout? Fall Guys. Fallout. I remember playing Fallout years ago. Fallout New Vegas. Now, that was a game. But yeah, it was all right. We raced in the rain. It was just totally fine. Right, where are we at? G-Nack here. Good to see you, G-Nack. Murphy Ross, indeed. Bob Ross. Murphy Ross. Murph, you need a PhD and read... Nearly fell for it, Viper. Nearly fell for it. But yes, Mike Coffey is here over on YouTube. Good to see you. He says, right, won't be buying this, but these streams are always entertaining and educational. Well, it's good to hear, Mike. It's a phenomenal aircraft. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's a superb add-on for the sim. I think it should be in everyone's virtual hangar only because, well, it's deadly and it has character. Any aircraft that has character, you're going to get it just, it has character. Oh, I'm going to dust off this old thing and take it for a jolly. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those, right? But yes. Now, who else is here? Raj is here over on YouTube. Very good to see you. T.S. Cairnsmore is here. Happy Monday to you. Wayne Prefontaine. Party on, Wayne. Yeah, right. Jamaumu, you're very welcome aboard. Starling says the Hunter's great. Better than a lot of the payware planes. Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. Photos by Kev is here. Evening, lads and lassies. Dan Murph. Hello, Photos by Kev. Kev, how are you? I saw your studio setup, man. So jealous right now. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Daza T. Arab is in the house. He says, evening, Murph and all, from me and Mrs. Daza. Daza's on YouTube. In stunning 4K, no less. It's good to see you, Daza. How are you, man? Vacuum says, evening again. You're very welcome in. Again, good to see you. Who's this? Wash, welcome aboard. Wired Lad is here. Happy Monday to you. Jamie Paradox. There he is. It was Jamie Paradox who basically said, I'm better than everyone at racing, and he won. Yes. Hemmingbird is here. It's good to see you, Hemmingbird. I've matter missing a couple of resubscribes, lads, and we got a few. Hemmingbird was one of them. Right? And who else? If I forget anyone now, just start shouting. But Hemmingbird subscribing at tier 2. Thank you very, very much indeed. That's insane. Insane generosity. Who else came in then with all sorts of buttons? They started a hype train. Airborne Rookie subscribed at tier 2. You mad thing. Tier 2. God almighty. Thank you very much indeed. Serious Wolf jumped in the door. 4 months at tier 1, man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Then Care85 with a Prime subscription here on Twitch for 22 friggin' months. That's positively years. Well, almost. But you know what I mean? Thank you very, very much indeed. And to anyone and everyone who hits the little subscribe button, thank you very, very much indeed, lads. It really, really is appreciated. Cap Kira has subscribed for 27 months. It's a hokey. That's just insane. Now, and I think we're up to date. And if anything else happens, you know, or I forget something, just shout. You know, just shout. Oh, Jesus. Dougal is lurking whilst rebuilding the PC again. Dougal, go handy now. Make sure you're earthed, right? And keep the cup of tea and the custard creams away from the wires. Because, well, you know, Jesus, right? It's good to see you, Dougal. Hope you're well, man. Gaseous Maximus is here. You're welcome aboard. Epic Fool is in the house. Evening. The man who flies choppers. Epic, did you fly the M117 yet? I'm checking it out on Wednesday. Looks very good. But yes, Cy Murray is in the house. Good to see you. Cy Murray went racing with us on Friday. It was good crack. Now, let me see. Big Al Plays is here. Or Big Al's playing. Big Al's playing. Good to see you, man. Kev says, enjoying the hell out of the rig, Murph. Just finished putting a base shaker under the seat. I think I'll need to pre-book a dental appointment to put your teeth back in. No way. TJ Turner says, I unsubscribed just so I could subscribe again. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Cy120 is here. What a beauty. The plane, not Murph. No offense. Shit, what? Oh, jeez. Thanks, Cy, 100%. But yes, right, now. Super Typhon says the final dev Q&A of the year is on this Wednesday on Twitch. It is. We're looking forward to that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening with the sim, isn't there? And coming up later in the week on Wednesday, we're starting a new ground school series. It'll run for about 3 weeks. And we actually have at our disposal a real world PC-12 pilot. And he's going to be joining us this week to introduce us to the Pilatus PC-12, and then next week and the week after, we're going to learn the thing as a real-world pilot would. Jens, thank you very much for the 100 bits. It's very kind of you. Right, lads, where do we begin with this? Well, there's plenty of YouTube content out there already. Some awesome videos. Q8 Pilot did a phenomenal one just on a quick start. It's just been incredible, right? Into the Blue yonder. There's loads of them. Into the Blue. ITB, that fella. Brilliant, right? Some great videos of this. P.S. Miranda is here. Hello there. Hope you're well, man. Hope you're well. Hang on, I have a button for him. Where does that live? It's down here. And then I press this button.
Hello there.
Hello there. It's good to see you, P.S. Miranda. Sound out, Murph. You can do it. Yeah, we're getting there. You're late again. I know. Shh, say nothing. Right, lads. So we're going to have a look at this airplane. Now, we can follow everything step by step by the checklists, which a lot of you will say, yep, that's how we want to fly it. Or you might get someone a little bit like me who will read and study the checklists, but then just put it into, Murph mode because there's no one watching and I know what to do in order to press some buttons. And we'll see what happens. So it'll be a mix between the two of them, but we will take it step by step, right? Gary Duggan is here. Good day, good evening. Oh no, what time is it? Good morning. Good morning. In Australia from Tipperary, where it's evening. Jamie doesn't use checklists. Yeah. Well, it depends, right? It depends. So we're sat on the ground here. All is looking terribly well in the realm. This is a stunning, stunning airplane, right? And we kind of showed this off last Wednesday, just to kind of give you the idea of what to expect. Now, bearing in mind, I still have the pre-release version. I think that they've another 2 versions out since this one. So if we do see kind of anything weird or wonderful, well, don't worry. This is not a representation of the final finished product by Just Flight. This was one that was given to a couple of content creators to say, go on, see if you can break it. Right. And that's pretty much kind of how it rolled, right? So the aircraft we're flying today is XM655. Which is the one that I believe she has the 301 engines, the Olympus 301 engines, right? And she's not flying in the real world today. 688, I believe, was the most recent flyer. But I have a whole lot of history of Avro and the development of this airplane, what it could and what it couldn't do, essentially, right? There's a ton of information for this thing. You have to appreciate, like it or love it, it's a very unusual and unique design, this, Delta wing aircraft. And there's a lot of characteristics with this bird. I mean, it was built to deliver a nuclear weapon. That's what it was built for. The British government put out a tender to say, hey, we need something that can do the following. And Avro came along and said, yes, we've just the ticket. And as I said, like Avro, that aircraft company, only a couple of years before this, I think it was only 4 years before this, the design of this released the Lancaster, and then later on the Shackleton and whatever else. They also released a jet, some very interesting stuff as well, right? Concorde's supersonic cousin, or subsonic cousin. Yeah. It's not Concorde, but it's subsonic cousin, the Vulcan. And the name Vulcan was given a scary name for a reason, Vulcan. And before you even start, but Vulcan, the Romans, Vulcan was the Roman god of fire and iron. That's what they said. Do you know what would give this a great name? I say the Vulcan. Yes? Why is that? Because the Romans had a god called Vulcan. The god Vulcan. Isn't that brilliant, isn't it? Not just a hat rack. Do you know? So, right. Some of the characteristics from this aircraft. These here at the front, these are the engine intakes. It's powered by 4 Rolls-Royce Olympus 301 engines. They're the engine intakes, right? And as we kind of maneuver towards the front, you have this thing on the front. Gibbo! As soon as I said Romans, Gibbo appeared. That's only fantastic. Gibbo Ireland, you're very welcome in. My dude came in to say hello, heard Romans, turns around and leaves. Brilliant. Yeah, the Romans the Romans didn't name this, but it was named after the Roman god Vulcan. Anyway, this here is a fuel probe at the very, very front, because as I said, the aircraft were designed to be refueled mid-air. The funny thing about it is, well, they weren't really used. In fact, when they were used, they had found that the probes had completely, blocked up. They got all rusty on the inside and they were pretty much shagged. They had to get a replacement, and quick, because there was an emission was going to start. And, yeah, man, it's they had to kind of get the thing sorted, right? What changed with the operation of the Vulcan early on, these things were designed to fly extremely high. 60-odd thousand feet was this thing's ceiling. And the idea was, well, it would overfly any sort of, anti-aircraft or countermeasure deployed by the Soviets. However, we kind of found out from when the, was it the U-2 was shot down? It didn't work. The Russians had capabilities of shooting aircraft down at 70,000 feet. At that stage, they all went, bugger. So they changed the profile and operation of these aircraft. They then became a low-altitude attack aircraft. Low altitude, instead of flying somewhere between 55 and 60,000 feet, these things flew under 250 feet. to evade anti-aircraft fire and enemy radar. And they had a very unique skill. The pilots, it was known as flicking. Say what? Yes. The terminology to flick. The idea being is the Vulcan flying under 250 feet, booting it going forward. Before it was about to release its payload, the pilot would pull up, the aircraft would bank 90 degrees up, and then they would launch the bomb. And by doing so, that inertia to push the thing forward, that's what the pilots trained to do. Isn't that mad? That's what they did. Isn't it mad? I didn't make this up, I can tell you. Very good, though. Very good. Under 250 feet, that's what they trained for. So when they were flying out to some, even around the UK, they were flying out to some islands or whatever, that, we got to climb now. We have to climb. One of them, there was reports of one of these going down during a training exercise because the Vulcans left a heavy, especially the earlier ones, they left a heavy trail of thick black smoke behind it. And, people were like, uh-oh, here's a whole load of smoke, but there's no sign of a Vulcan. They actually thought one went down, but it didn't. So we got Black Buck to look forward to as well. Sunjammer. Dude, there's like the history of these. It's unbelievable. It was called a long toss, says Eddie Shotton. Yeah, I read it was called, referred to as flick or long toss. It's the same idea, isn't it? I mean, aircraft flying, it pulls up, drops the payload, and off it goes. Like, it's mad when you think about it, isn't it? Mad. Shoot the Bandit says, during the red flag exercises in the States, the aircrew reported the Vulcans landing with bits of Jacob trees stuck to the underside. What? Wasn't there a big... Shoot the Bandit, wasn't that a big exercise where the British and the Americans played war games and the idea was, could the Brits actually get in undetected? And the Americans had to go intercept them. And, spoiler alert, I believe the Brits won. Or they won the first round. They won the first game. And then, the Americans said, right, that's what you're doing. We'll sort that mess out. I read about that years ago. Fascinating stuff. US Air Force called it loft attack. F-105s were designed for it, says Sterling. Oh, nice. Brilliant. Yeah, that's the one. The Brits and Vulcans bombed New York twice. That was the idea. They simulated a bombing in New York. That's what it is. Mrs. Scrub Daddy, you're very welcome aboard. Thank you for the follow. Hope all is well. So, when we talk about history, when we talk about an iconic aircraft, I mean, this thing has it all, lads. When you think about it, right? The Lancaster, which we're going to be getting soon in the sim as well, that has its own legacy, if you like. This thing, this is unbelievable, considering it was designed in 1947. Huh? Right? Written down on the back of a bit of a newspaper. Yes, I have an idea. In fact, the crew, or how the crew would actually fit into the aircraft, was very much an afterthought. It's quite tight and compact in where the flight deck is, and the aircraft of the day would hold a crew of 5. Just Flight's aircraft is designed to hold 2 because, they have some quality of life allowances, if you like, when it comes to Microsoft Flight Simulator, rather than having each and every single station there because, let's face it, you don't need to move to get to a different station just to flick one switch. So, that's where it is. Test Pilot has subscribed for 24 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. Cheers. 655 is my local Vulcan, says Darth Mong. Awesome, dude. Man, I've seen one of these in the flesh. I never got into it, but I've seen it in the flesh. Never got the experience to hear it. Right now, I've watched plenty of videos and all the sorts of jazz, but I've never actually heard it. But I did, my hand was placed on a Vulcan to say, Jesus, that's big, but that was about the extent of it. But I do know that there's a couple of examples of this aircraft. There's one in Duxford, I believe. Is that where I think that's where I saw it. And the story of the one in Duxford, we'll get on to the whole Argentinian crisis later on, but when these things were sent, as I was saying about the fuel probes, they had to leg it out to Duxford late at night. A few of the old RAF ground crew. Hello. We need a spare part. And they legged it out to Duxford. Hang on. Knock Murphy. Hello? Yes? Very good. We're here to inspect our aircraft that we gave to you on loan some years ago. Oh, yes. Carry on. And they went in with a couple of ratchets and spanners, took off the fuel probe and legged it. I do believe they gave it back to them, though. How cool is that? Right, so let us now proceed to jumping inside of the aircraft, shall we? And here we are. Jesus, there's buttons here now at a rate of... who's in charge, right? Who's in charge? MDA, it's good to see you, man. You're very welcome aboard. Rusticrate is here. Welcome in. Lads, thank you also very, very much indeed for joining me here tonight. And I hope you enjoy what we're going to see. We're going to take it kind of step by step and let's just see how it all goes, right? So anyway, a couple of things we need to get ourselves familiar with when you guys jump into this aircraft, hopefully tomorrow. Well, there's a couple of things we're going to start off and do. First and foremost, for kind of handiness, it doesn't matter how many throttles you have bound, 1, 2 or 4, it really doesn't matter, but just be aware there are 4 independent throttles, or you can wire them all to one single axis if you wish. Underneath the throttle, you have your speed brake, and I was having issues with this, I've since fixed it. The speed brake, it's a 3-positioned switch, so if it's on an axis you want to be careful. It's ideally it's better to be on some sort of a servo switch, right? Or even just a click switch. But just be aware there are 3 positions for your speed brakes, all right? Next up then, in terms of kind of buttons that you may or may not want to press, the aircraft has its own EFB, the Electronic Flight Bag, and this is Just Flight's version of this. Now, you might say, that's a very familiar looking screen. It's the normal Just Flight EFB. However, they've done incredible work here to make this all work for the Vulcan. So, I gave this a show off last week. We don't need to worry about it too much. You'll notice down the bottom, it shows you different camera angles, right? However, you can avoid that. If you think that the EFB is going to break some immersion, we can avoid all of that. If we wanted to load up the aircraft, anything from Shrike capabilities to nuclear bombs, I mean, you absolutely can, right? Over on the right hand side, we have a couple of options when it comes to our loading state, as in the aircraft. Is it cold and dark, ready to fly, ready to taxi, all that jazz is there, right? We also have our static elements, including we have a ground power unit and the Paluste, which is your air starter. Effectively, that's what it is, right? And then the K2 hose will only work with the K2 variant, which of course is your air refueler, your tanker, right? But before you get into that, there are a few more options hidden away up here. So you can select, do you want the 201 engines? In this copy I have, they don't really work. So we won't use those. But you can have the nose probe, you can toggle that on or off. Click of a button, and there we are. Me nose is gone. Oh no, it was... right. Or we can put it back in again. The same with the TF4 dome. We can also put in our electronic countermeasures, which will be located up the front and on the sides. We also have the MRR and the 558 aerials. So if you look at the top of the aircraft at the moment, and then we can start adding more in. Some of the models work. Some of them probably don't work at this stage. But that's where you add in all the extra, ooh, look at that, viewing stuff. All right? All right. Every Just Flight release is a work of art. I agree, Si. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I would put the air brake F6 and F7 keyboard. That's a good idea, yeah. That's a good idea. The 2 pilots ejected through the top, but the back 3 had to jump out the bottom door. Correct. The pilot and co-pilot, these seats, these are equipped with an ejector seat, right? And what's pretty cool about this is, well, they are modelled. Now, they don't function, but they have the safety release pins modelled. And if you click on one of those, it removes them all. There's like 3 pins per seat. But we'll go through that when we're going to be starting up the airplane. All right? Right, what else are we going to do here? So ground power talk. So leaving everything alone for the moment. I am, however, going to remove the covers. Because when we start the aircraft up, we don't want the covers on. Sure we don't. So we're going to remove the covers. And everything else can pretty much stay where it is. You also have your loading, or your weight and balance page. Your load, essentially. And at the moment, she's fully loaded, 100%. Perfect. We're going to get nearly 1,700 miles out of this thing. And then we have our comms panel here, which is TACAN, transponder, ADF comms. That's all there as well. So the EFB, it's handy, lads. It's just handy to have, right? So we're pretty much finished with the EFB for now. We will be jumping back to it later on. So the first thing we do, before we start getting fierce excited and saying, what do we press and what, you know, the very first thing we do, we're just remember, you have 2 little switches, green switches, and these are your oxygen systems. That's the first thing you do, turn on your oxygen. So we'll turn on the left, and we'll turn on the right. Oxygen systems are now up and running. Nice. Next up, if you have a look at the main glare shield, right? Just located here, there are 2 screws. No ordinary screws. These are hidden click spots because, as I was saying, if you don't want to be jumping to and from the EFB, it might break a bit of immersion. Well, Just Flight said, hey, here's an idea. Let's click on one of these, and it'll automatically take you to a viewpoint. So this one here is your navigation, and you have 2 more screws here, one there and the other just down here. They'll bring you to the next panel. There are 2 external panels that we need. This one here is for the Air Electronic Officer, I think it's called, the AEO seating position. So this is where we're going to start off, and this is where most of our work is actually going to come from, right? Now, we can notice from this screen that we have the tablet tucked away down here in the bottom. That's handy because if we need to, we can just click on the tablet, select what we need, click on the tablet, and then it's gone away. That's super handy. So the first job we're going to do, we're going to hide me, and we're going to come down to the bottom left of this panel. Break this panel down into 3 or 4 different locations. The top left, this is pretty much your auxiliary power unit. I mean, it's pretty much that, okay? This one here is your main electrical panel when it comes to your batteries and alternators. This one here is to, well, inverters. This one here is more to do with your alternators and also like the, think of it almost like your bleed air, right? Because once you have the AP or the AAPP running, you'll be clicking the switch down here. And then these lads here are your generators. They're your generators, right? So we're going to start off and turn on the battery. We lift the guard, flick the switch up, and the battery is alive. We're going to make sure we have minimum 24 volts, which we do. We can see that. We can close the guard. And we're going to reset the non-essential supplies. We're looking at things here. So see the white cards here showing you that you have DC power. Well, when we trip these, they should go vertical, and then we reset them and they go back to being horizontal. So we know they're working, right? Excellent stuff. Next up, we're going to have a look at this auxiliary air powered something, basically the AAPP, yeah? And there's a couple of things we need to do here. So we're going to make sure that the fire test switch works. You can lift the guard, press the switch, it illuminates. Yeah, that's all working grand, tickety-boo, that's what we want. We can also put in the master switch to give it power, and we're going to put the LP cock switch on. Yeah, okay, pretty good. Are we with us so far? So far, so good. Something gave a beep. Did you hear that? Whose machine was that, and what did it want? Anyway, we continue on. You have this cartridge. It's a funny system for actually firing the this unit. Basically a jet engine to start the jet engine, right? But you need to put a cartridge in this. Now you can cycle this little switch up or down to put a cartridge in, but it's the buttons on the side. It's one complete switch. You press this on either side and that'll start it all up, right? But before we do this, lads, we're going to turn on some external stuff. We're going to turn on the ground power and we're going to turn on the air starter. They'll take a couple of moments to connect to the aircraft. You'll hear them spooling up, and once we have ground power, we're going to see volts and amps rushing through the system, right? Just give it a few moments and you'll see everything coming in. So straight away we can say, yes, we're looking good. And see the way the needles are shaking and rattling? That's the current, isn't it? Dead, isn't it? The cockpit looks great. It's superb. You hear the sounds coming on? It's beautiful, right? Now, if they get too loud to you, just close the crew door. Disappear that. You'll hear the door close. Right? Fantastic. Right, so our next little trick, we want to start up this unit here. Okay, so to do that, we're just going to press and hold this switch for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. So PSI is rising, and also our temperature is rising. And you'll hear that spool up, or if you go outside, it'll all spool up together. Alright? Now go back to that view. Right, so that's coming on board now. And what we need to do is we're going to turn on this AAPP switch. And now we're good. AAPP is on, and we're going to turn on our alternators 1 and 4. You'll hear the sounds. Sounds are good? Sounds are good. So alternators 1 and 4. We'll get 2 and 3 here now in a moment. And we're okay being up here for the moment, right? You can do various tests to make sure that you have power coming in, right? We're not going to use the ram air turbine. It does work, but we're not going to use that. We don't need it yet. And then we'll sync the alternators once everything kind of starts up now in a moment. All right? So we're looking good here. At the moment, we're looking good. Generators still come online after the engine starts up. Ration heater, don't need to worry about that. And then these other alternators, we'll worry about those in a moment. So what we need to do next, well, we're going to ramble over to the far side of the couch, and we're going to look down at this panel. Move the little handle out of the way. And we're going to get some external lights turned on. So you can see your nav lights over here. We're going to put them onto flash, and we're going to turn on the external light switch. Your external lights are now up and running, right? And there's a few other things we can mess here, just to explain what we have. This is all to do with the fuel probes and the refueling tanks. There are 14 fuel tanks in this airplane. 14 of them, right? Nuts. This is all to do with our anti-ice and heating controls, right? And then as we move across here, these are the engine air switches. We're going to need to open these during startup, and then we close them after that. We also have a tank pressure switch that we need to turn this little gadget on. So we flick him forward, and then we lock the guard behind it so it can't pop out and, you know, do all sorts of whatnot. While we're over here, it's up to yourself. We can now turn on some of the internal lighting, because it is absolutely superb, this thing, right? And it's going to be the same over on the pilot's side. Turn on some of this lighting here as well. And you can move this, you know what I mean? Like, it's Just Flight have done a great job. So we have our UV lighting, console lighting, panel lighting, flood lighting, the whole shebang, lads. And like at nighttime, this thing is just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous, right? Right, so we're going to continue on. We do have a center console that we can't see, so we need to pull this little divil back. So just click on the little pull handle. And what lives on this panel, lads, are all your fuel pumps and also your autopilot system. Your autopilot system is this box back down here at the very back. Does anyone know what R, A, and E would mean? Considering these are servo switches for your autopilot, what might R, A, and E stand for? Have a guess on that one there now. And while we're there, I'm going to turn on some stuff. So fuel pumps are going to come on. One of the fuel tanks is fitted for carrying tea. So I'll give you a hint. RAE. They relate to your flight control surfaces. R is for your rudder. Autopilot servo switch for your rudder. What might A and E stand for? Now, while we're down here, we're going to turn on the autopilot master switch. That's not going to engage your autopilot. It's just going to put some power into it. So you pull up the pin, and you're going to wait for this little ready light symbol to rotate until it's white. And it takes a moment to power up. Rookie Pilot, thank you very much indeed for the Prime subscription. Very kind of you. 19 months, sir. Thank you very much. Alright, so there's our autopilot. It's now ready. Nice. Aileron elevator. That's it, lads. That's what it is. Brilliant. Alright. Next couple of things we need to check. I think we're okay on the right-hand side. In the center console, these are your fuel tanks, right? They're showing you where your fuel tanks are at. You have this kind of a dome light master switch if you need more additional lighting. I don't think we do. I think we're okay. This is your takeoff cruise switch. Just remember, once you take off, once you're in the air, flick this little fella back into cruise. That's all you need to worry about. Don't worry about anything else. Just put him into cruise, all right? JPT limiter and also your servo for the air brake. Don't worry about that for the moment. The auto throttle engage, it was by design enough. It wouldn't work, but be cautious pressing that button. Next thing here, then you have this HRS or MFS or MFS, nothing to do with Microsoft Flight Sim. There's settings to do with all the stuff. Don't worry about it. Leave it alone, right? We don't need to mess with that. Now we can also check our center of gravity, and we can check a couple of buttons. Don't be afraid of pressing buttons up here, right? What's cool here as well, you have a little hydraulic pump. So your hydraulic pressure is here. Now, if you were to press on the brakes, if you were to try and move bomb bay doors, anything that requires hydraulics, well, you're going to start losing pressure. However, you can recharge it by turning on the little pump. Press and hold it. Pressure builds up, and you're good to go again. All right? So instead of like a handy hand crank thingamajiggy, they have a little electronic switch in there. Do you know what I mean? E is elevator, A is aileron, A320 sim captain. You're very welcome aboard, man. Good to see you. Right, landing gear indicator or your undercarriage indicator. 3 greens. We've a nose and 1 gear under each wing, and then we have the up-down position for the emergency gear. This part here, half important. When you land, you want to be able to deploy your parachute. It will slow you down. And that's along with your speed brakes. So you can press the button or you can bind a button to that. It's up to you. This indicator up here is showing you what your control surfaces are doing. Rudder, aileron and elevator. At the moment, I've no hydraulic pressure in the aircraft. That'll all change once we start up the engines. And what I thought we'd do today, rather than doing a rapid start, because everyone's showing you the rapid start, the aircraft was capable of doing what's called a rapid start. We're going to start up each engine one by one, right? Now, what rapid start would basically mean like a scramble. They had to get the aircraft airborne straight away. They'd flick literally a couple of switches and all 4 engines would power up and then you're good to go. We're going to do one at a time. It's a nice startup procedure for this aircraft. All right. BH Hassan, hey, good to see you, man. Zybok Doc is here. Good to see you. So we've 4 engines on the aircraft, right? So if you have a look down here behind you on the left-hand side, this grey cylinder thingy, that was basically your pilot suit heater. It was airflow that you connected into it, right? What I thought was hilarious, it took exactly 90 minutes to warm up. So if you were cold, you wouldn't actually feel hot air coming into your flight suit for about 90 minutes. Just bear that in mind, do you know? But anyway, so we have some start switches down here, all right? So you have your master switch, you have your ignition, and then you have this rapid or normal start. We're just going to go normal start. So the idea is when we turn this divel on, this air valve should go from shut to open, which it does. And it's only a matter now of pressing these buttons and they'll power up. Start powering up our engines. Before we do that, we need to open up the fuel valves. So you have 4 little switches. You have to get the camera down good and handy, turn these lads on, and then close the gauges. Okay. So far, so good. We haven't exploded. 90 minutes to get hot air. It's a bit like the heater in the Skoda. Who asked you? But yeah, you're not probably terribly wrong there. It's all right. The Skodas were built for warm-blooded creatures. I mean, cold-blooded creatures. Do you know? Right. So I think we're looking good here. The throttles, just be aware of it. Think of your kind of 737s and all this. Funny that I mentioned a 737. This aircraft is roughly the size of a 737-200 in terms of wingspan, length, the whole shebang. Mad, isn't it? So what we're going to do, let's see here now. We're finished over. Oh yeah, we're going to open up these engine air switches. Remind me to turn them off, lads, will you? That's important. They need to be turned off a little bit later on, right? And we'll see what happens now. And this will either be great or, you know, terrible. We'll find out together. Filthy! It's good to see you, Filthy. So have a look at this. You can press the little line here, not where the throttle handle is. See these? Basically, your fuel shut off. These little switches in the back, they're not your togas. Not at all. Toga? No, they're not like press all these and you have toga power, take off, go around. No, these are engine relight switches. Effectively, if you have a problem in the air and these are pressed in, well, the aircraft will detect if it needs to try and restart the engine. But we'll leave them off for the moment. Mr. Bushki, you're very welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Right, lads, we're going to try and do a thing here now. Wish me luck. So fuel pumps are running. All my air switches above are running. So we're going to try a start on number 4. Did I press these back down again? I did. I did, right. Here we go. So we're going to start number 4. Little switch down here. Little red switch should indicate. Press and hold and let go. If we monitor now engine number 4, we have spinach on our RPM. Warning lights are doing their things. That's quite okay. And once we get to roughly 15, you hear a spooling. We'll go ahead and introduce some fuel by pressing the button. Listen to these sounds. And there's engine number 4 running. Now we can then, if we wanted to, jump on upstairs and turn on generators on the right hand side. Press the wrong button, Murph. There we go. So generator number 4, flick it on, light is extinguished, and we're getting power in on the number 4 bus bar. Nice. You don't have to do it one after the other. You can start all 4 engines and then come up here and tidy up everything afterwards. Totally sound, right? Okay. Live long and prosper. Cockspur dev team is here. Where are we at? Great to see you, Seb. How's she cutting? We're trying to start up a Vulcan. Right, engine 3 is next. Press and hold. Red light is on. And release. And we'll now monitor engine number 3. Again, we can see the RPM needle starting to move. We're going to aim for about 15, and then we'll introduce the fuel. And again, it's the sounds. You'll hear that bassy kind of a purr. Jesus, beautiful. Beautiful. And we continue on with our endeavours. So come back down here, go for number 2. Same crack again. We're going to see the engines come up on live. It looks close to study level. It would be close to study level. Like they've delved into a lot of systems, right? I don't think they're calling it study level, but close. Okay, fuel on 2. Some of the most immersive sounds you'll get. And number 1. Now, as I said, we could have done a rapid start, all 4 engines, boof, away you go. But it's nice to be able to do it this way as well, because you learn more about it. You know what I mean? So we're just waiting on the RPM to rise. Istick is here, good to see you. Okay, engine 1. So we're monitoring our oil pressure, we're monitoring our temperatures, and of course our RPMs. Everything should be nice and stable and static. No movements, no erratic movements. Everything should be absolutely tickety-boo. So we have a good start on all 4 engines. We're going to come down here, we're going to turn off the ignition and the master switch. And we're going to go back up to our overhead and continue on with our electrical systems. So, to do so, we're going to come down here and turn on our remaining generators. So we go 3, 2, and 1. Our gens are now running, and we can see that they have sufficient power going through. We can also turn on the whatchamacallit, we can turn on the oxygen relay system. You can turn on alternators 2 and 3. So far so good. And what we can do here now, it's in the manual, right? But effectively you're going to be syncing the alternators to number 2. That's effectively what you're doing, right? So we turn the switch, we want to sync everything, and then it's only a matter of turning off all the external supplies. So you can trip them here, or we can just release them, right? So we're going to bring over a little tablet, and we're going to remove the ground power and remove the air starter unit. While we're here, we'll also remove the chocks. Now the bomb bay doors, we're going to look after those ourselves. So let's do a very quick check up here. Everything from what I can see is okay. If it isn't, I'll blame Gibbo. Now, before we get going, 2 things. I need to close off these engineer switches. What else do we need over here? Cabin condition, not going to worry about that for the moment. Effectively, if you turn on this switch, you'll hear all like air fans turn on inside the cockpit. Have a listen. The sounds are so immersive. Alright. Probe lighting is already on. Our landing lights, landing port, external lights. We're going to put our taxi lights on. Just put all your lights on there, Murph. Here we go. Now we need to come back down to here, because at this stage, once you've powered everything up, you're going to notice, well, you can't move your flight control. It ain't moving. It's not doing anything. Well, you need to turn it on. This is the ARE mechanism, which has belonged to the feel system. I mentioned this last week, right? Effectively, the aircraft, it's not connected. It's a fly-by-wire, so you needed a system so that the pilot could say, oh, wait, oh, yeah, that's what it is, right? So the feel system. So I'm going to turn on my radios first, get them on. Radios are on. And I'm going to turn on this feel system. So to do so, we're going to hit these A, R, and E switches. And once we press these, some of these lights are going to start turning off. Think of Airbus. We don't want any lights on here. All the lights need to be off. So we'll hit A or E. We're going to activate yaw dampener into number 1. We're going to manually press on the pitch, on the dampers, and on the auto trim. Now, I'm unsure, is this a characteristic of the real aircraft, or perhaps it's just an issue that we're dealing with being pre-release. But these lights up here, if they don't distinguish, just come back here and press the A or E and wait a moment, and they should then turn off.
Hello there.
And there they go. Helder, thank you very much indeed for the follow. Now we're nearly done. Our range switch, make sure that's set to 5,000 and not 500. This is the bomb bay. We're going to look after that in a moment.
Hey, good morning.
I think what I should have done was remove the ejection seat gadgets. So they're located on the sides or at the very, very front of the seat. Doesn't matter which one you click, it'll remove all of them. So once you click on that, you'll see them appear on the left and on the right. They're going to appear on both sides to say, safety pin, stowages. Yes, our ejector seats are armed and they're pretty much ready to go. All right. Now we're going to have a look at some of our master caution lights. These are your master caution lights. So if any of these start illuminating, you're in trouble, right? Now, we have two things. You have your air brake and a flag system, and you have your bomb doors and a flag system. Let's see a click spot there. What we need to do, we need to close the bomb doors. So if you have a look outside the aircraft and underneath, you'll see that our bomb doors are wide open. Yeah, we need to close them, right? So to close them, very simple. We have a little switching down here. So we're going to move this divel from open to close and then back to auto. And as we move it, we're going to monitor to make sure that this little light gets a black flag over it and then it should disappear. I'll show you what it looks like with the air brake. It's the same kind of a setup. Do you know what I mean? Right? We're an hour and 10 minutes into the stream and we're still on the ground. Can't rush perfection, I guess. And I don't mean Murph. Thanks, Muse. Close. Do you see it there briefly? A little black flag and now it's off. Now we're going to put it to the auto position. We can visualize it outside. The bay doors are closed. But if we want to test the air brakes or the spoilers, have a look at this. Same idea, yeah? So if you want to check them from outside, look at the size of the spoilers on this. And they've 3 positions, yeah? So you've like normal and then holy moly, right? So we're looking good. I would consider that a decent startup. Remember I was telling you about your control surfaces? Well, let's have a look. So I'm going to go pitch forward, back. I'm going to go full left, full right. We're going to go rudder right, see it up the top, and rudder left. My controls are indicating and they are free and correct. So that's where your controls are. It's pretty cool. It's an analog little gadget to show you what's happening, right? Other things to note, your demister and your windscreen wipers, the wipers do work. I don't think they'd throw water off the screen. I need to ask Scott for that. But they've 2 speeds. Very fast and kind of slow. And every sound you're listening to was recorded from the actual airplane. The actual airplane. There's no pretend sounds or, yeah, that's how it should sound. They're the actual sounds. Like, it's a marvel of accomplishment from Just Flight, considering how well they've managed to pull this thing off. It's incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. Right, so our last couple of tricks before we get going. Our parking brake is this handle over here, look. We'll worry about him in a moment. What else do we need to do now? I think I'm fairly sound. If you get lost, or if you want to do the whole thing from scratch, well, the good news is it comes with the default Microsoft Flight Sim checklist, which are interactive. If you don't know where something is, you click on the little button and it takes you to that exact station. Okay, so the entire checklist system is there. And there's a lot. Initial or internal checks, engine, after start. Let's double check on that. Alternators, 4 switches are on. Engine master switch and ignition, yeah, they're all off. Fuel console, yes. Idling checked. Engine air switches, yes. Cabin air switches off. Anti-icing as required. Air brakes test, yes. Bomb door checked. Voltage is good. APP, if not running, APP is on and it's synced to number 2. External supplies have been removed. Alternators, load checked is on 2. APP is on sync and our AVS master. So we're good. You know, Murphy's method somewhat worked. Steve, good to see you. Right. So with that, friends, it's time to start taxiing this. So my plan here is I'm going to taxi, take off, and then we'll turn on multiplayer. Is that fair enough? This thing, when we start moving it, you'll notice that the pitch authority, it's easy to pull up. It's an absolute nightmare pushing the nose down. And that is a characteristic of the actual aircraft. Just right, confirm that. You'll also need to keep an eye. The wheels. Look how far back the main landing wheel is from your position. Just be aware of that. Don't turn the thing too early. And, you know, your main struts are quite wide as well. So they're just little kind of things to get used to. They're very high. So when it comes to landing this, it takes a little bit of time to figure out exactly what height you're at. Do you know what I mean? So, no flaps to worry about. We're going to add in a small bit of power. And we're going to start our taxi here. And don't hit into that C-130 beside us. They'll be given out to us. Isn't it beautiful? Now, we also have some nice things. We have sun visors and shades. In actual fact, these are more than just sun visors and shades. They were actually used to protect the pilots in the event that they were going to drop a nuke. See these blast doors? And there's one on each side. They're modelled, they do the job. Pretty cool, isn't it? I'm going to be taxiing runway 02, I'd say, Muse. 02 is what we're aiming for. So I suppose we'll just have now listened to the machine, will we? Isn't it beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful. So I see some questions there in the chat asking about our beloved friend Fabio, the Flying Fabio. Fabio is working in the real world. I'd like to say he's a 9 to 5 job. He doesn't. He has like a 6 till 9 job, as in a long day. He's hour building, so he's instructing. He's a CFI. He's instructing students, and he's also building his hours. I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. I know he is well, but yeah, he kind of hung up his streaming boots for the time being while he does that. So yeah, you'd miss him. Hey paparazzi, good to see you. Just tuned in time. Yeah, would it not be cool to have the K2 Handy Page Victor tanker? Now that'd be awesome, Utley. Isn't it gorgeous looking? So I'm gonna hang it right down here. Look. Tritz 4, good to see you. So, what do you think of this machine? Hey, Fort Noob is here. It's good to see you, Fort. What's happening? Fort, you need to get this thing. It's insanely good. So much so, see these beacon lights? Like, they're modelled from the real aircraft. They're not a full rotation. They kind of go like 180 degrees, spin back, 180 degrees, spin back. Like, they've nailed it. As Murphy immediately drives off the friggin' taxiway. The Vulcan costs about €1 million, £1 million a year just on maintenance. What? It's incredible. It looks great in the ground. I'll get it airborne now in a second. Jesus. So this thing will actually simulate air-to-air refueling. Now, it won't put another airplane in the sky, unfortunately, but in terms of the systems and the fuel probing and the amount of time it takes to, you know, receive fuel or refuel, it's all modelled, which is pretty cool. Sounds around the same as a Skoda annual maintenance, right? Memphis Stone, good to see you. The howl of the 201 engine is amazing. Yes, it is. So the 201s give you that iconic howl. The 301s, not so much. Not so much. The Rolls-Royce Olympus engines, I forget the exact make, but they ended up in Concorde. They weren't the 301s, they were like an 856 or a 56 something later on. They were later upgrades of the Olympus engine. That's what powered Concorde. Oh, could you imagine a tornado in this thing? Wouldn't it be sav? There's also something important to note here as well. Your landing lights. So your landing lights drop down out of the wing. See one there? And what's pretty cool here is, if you're flying more than 155 knots, the wind actually pushes them Betsies back in under the wing. So you need to be careful not to drop your landing lights too early, because, well, the wind is going to force it back into the wing. How cool is that, lads? So we're going to get ourselves lined up here on runway 02. When we want to fly this aircraft, you'll notice what way my control is going to be for this, right? Because effectively, I'm going to be pushing this thing nose down. Nose down, right? So we'll bring it to a stop here. So as we go to taxi, this thing is going to be booting it along. Is it that camera? Yeah. We're going to be booting along, and I'm going to be keeping this pressure on the stick forward. And as we start picking up speed, once we hit about 100 or so, I'm going to bring it back into neutral, and then a very gentle pull back, and that's going to be enough to get us airborne. That's all it takes. If you try and take off and not pull this puppy back, it'll nose up very, very quickly. And again, it's as the real machine did it. You know what I mean? So if we're ready, friends, we're going to increase the power up to 90% whilst keeping our feet on the toe brakes. Then we're going to release the toe brakes and give it full power. Let's give it a blast. Power coming in. Brakes off. Full power. Knots. Controls to neutral. Gent pull back on the stick. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. And we are accelerating. Look at this, 200 knots. Awesome. We got to keep a lot of pressure. Keep pushing down on that nose. Okay, down to a power switch. Cruise. There's 1,300 feet. Bring our landing lights back in. We're going to activate some multiplayer. Go ahead and turn it on. Give it a moment. Isn't it something? Right, lads, what we're going to do now, well, if you're flying along with us, if you're on the Xbox, press 1, if you're on the PC, press 2, and if you're here just going, Jesus, right, will you press number 3? I nearly forgot. Number 3. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2000 Zulu time, right here. Oh, beat the hokey, lads. Oh, beat the hokey. It's gorgeous. Right, so what we're going to do now, friends, I'm going to get myself trimmed up a little bit, and we're going to go into the autopilot, because that's going to give us a bit of a helping hand, right? So to get myself trimmed, it requires a bit of work. Your pitch down authority is going to be quite limited, right? It's quite limited. So we're just going to level off here. We're going to aim somewhere between 8 and 10,000 feet, right? So it's... Whoa, Empire, welcome in, my dude. Thank you very much indeed for the raid. Great to see you, man. The good news is, it's actually pretty easy to trim the airplane because some aircraft are just like, are we there yet? This is actually quite good, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to come down here to this little gadget. Now, don't worry where the needle is facing, because you have this little gadget here. See this indicator? That's your heading bug. So you need to turn this in the direction in which you want to fly. And if you're looking to see what direction you are, well, you have two magnetic compasses. So we're currently on a heading of about 230 degrees. I'm going to turn this divel to the south. I want to go down to 180 degrees. So we're going to go down to this guy, and we're going to turn him until we get to 180. So 180 is there. We're going to lock him in play, and we're going to come down to our autopilot. And there's a couple of switches we need to have a look at. You have track, that's what we're after, or you have glide. Glide is going to hold your angle of attack, essentially. Track is what we're after. So we're going to hit track, and we're going to engage the autopilot. So you see the autopilot is now activated, and we're hoping now in a moment that the aircraft is going to start going to its heading mode. So we want 180. Get in there now. Level off, Murphy. What do we want? Flick him down. Track, glide. We don't want glide, we just want track. Give us a turn there, Betsy. Give it a second. It's a bit temperamental like myself. Steer to port and turn 230. Yeah. Oh, just power on it. Jesus. Dan has subscribed to tier 1 for 22 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Cheers, man. Right, hang on. Did I do something wrong? It's engaged. It's on, right? Come back, you devil. Track. Right now. I was thinking about it. Let's have a look.
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works every time.
It works every time. Why isn't that working? What have we forgot, lads? Tis on. IAS mode or altitude. Now leave that off for the moment. Track and engage. There she goes. Watch the pitch. So this should turn us on a heading of 180. Well, we're turning left. We should be turning right. Hang on, Betsy. Bring me down to 180, please. There we go. Easy does her. Don't climb too much. Watch your altitude. We'll keep a little bit of a shallow climb in this. We are turning left. We're going the right direction. Speed is good. Engine power is around 60%. Bring it back up to about 70. So look at this big E just... Can I maintain altitude? It can. Let's just give it a moment. So it should settle on 180 degrees and then level, right? So we're nearly there. Let's just test this. Should work. Bit more power for our climb. Now she should hold 180. You can see the needle coming down to show us. See this needle here? So once that hits 180, it should level off. The wings are now starting to level. And wings are level, holding 180. Grand, okay. Now bring that vertical speed down a smidgen. 7,500 feet. She's holding a steep enough climb. Get it out, glide. There we go. After so many new PC parts, I wonder if the Wallace still has some left for this. Yeah, Dougal, I know, right? Okay, try and trim ourselves out here. The angle of attack of this plane, like, it takes so much so much getting used to. You know what I mean? So we're keeping an eye on our vertical speed indicator. This fella here. We want this zeroed as best we can. Easy now. It's hard to trim it as you're accelerating. Easy. Easy. We're fairly close to it now. What's the Vulcan's max altitude? 65,000 feet, I believe. Okay, so we're heading of 180. We're going to change that now. So we're currently on 180. Let's go over to 090. It's interesting the way she's not turning. There's our turn coming in now. She's mad to climb. Keep it level there. Speed is good, 250 knots. And you can see slowly but surely our turn is coming across. 090 is what we're after. Look at the state of that. Just looking only gorgeous. Okay. I believe it's basically heading mode. It is. That's precisely what it is. So the Vulcan, right? Let's be having you. What can we tell you about it? Because it's fascinating. So the Vulcan, right? Effectively a Cold War era strategic bomber that played a pivotal role in the Royal Air Force's nuclear deterrent strategy, right? So the background was developed by the British aircraft manufacturer Avro, or Avro Company. The Vulcan was designed in response to the Cold War geopolitical climate. It entered service during a time when nuclear deterrence was a key element of military strategy. The Avro Vulcan project started in the late 1940s, and the first prototype flew in 1952. The design emphasized high speed and altitude capability, combining advanced technology and innovative engineering. It entered service in 1956 and remained in operation up until 1984. It notably participated in the Falklands War in 1982, showcasing its versatility beyond its original strategic bomber role. The unique delta wing configuration, it featured a distinctive delta wing design, contributing to its high-speed capability and agility. The wing design was also a characteristic feature of other Avro aircraft, such as the Avro Arrow. That was the other jet aircraft. Powered by 4 Rolls-Royce Olympus turbojet engines, the engines provided the Vulcan with impressive speed and altitude capabilities, making it a formidable strategic bomber. It was manned by a crew of 5, including a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, radar operator, and you had your bombardier, your man to press the button. Advanced avionics and a spacious cockpit showcased cutting-edge technology for its time. But when they say spacious, right, it wasn't very. There was shag all room in this thing. So effectively from this position, now it's not modelled here with Just Flight, but effectively where this bulkhead is, right, you'd have another station here. There's like a table here, small little platform, and there were 3 rear-facing seats. That's where the rest of the crew sat. Look at the altitude up here as well. So what are we on? We're on a course of 090. We're looking good. So we'll try another turn here. Can we bring it up to 360 degrees? In you go. Speed is looking good. So Avro or AV Rowe and Company, prominent British aircraft manufacturer of its day, they were based out of Manchester. Ailerons into wind is here. It's good to see you. Jesus, 30 months, man. Ailerons into wind, also known as the HIM. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. It's great to see you. So yeah, AV Rowe Company, prominent British aircraft manufacturer. Besides the Vulcan, Avro also produced several other...
Welcome to my secret underground
layer. They also produced other notable aircraft, right? Including the Lancaster and the Avro Arrow, or the Arrow. Also the Shackleton, if anyone can remember that as well. The Avro Arrow, a supersonic interceptor jet, was another iconic aircraft produced by Avro. Unfortunately, the Arrow project was cancelled in 1959, leading to the demise of Avro as a major aircraft manufacturer. Wait to hear this, right? So the dimensions. The length was 30.4 meters, wingspan of 34 meters, 8 meters in height, maximum speed Mach 0.9 or 6, range, depending on its refueling capabilities, some would argue 6,000 nautical miles. Service ceiling was about 60,000 feet. It carried a variety of nuclear weapons and conventional bombs, including the Blue Steel standoff missile, 1,000-pound bombs, and so on. The Vulcan played a crucial role to the RAF's nuclear deterrence strategy during the Cold War. Its ability to carry out and deliver nuclear weapons made it a key component of the UK's defence posture. The Falklands War, it demonstrated its adaptability by performing long-range missions during the Falkland War, operating in a bombing role, showcasing its continued relevance beyond its original design intent. We'll talk about those in a moment. The Avro Vulcan stands out as a symbol of Cold War aviation technology, combining innovation and strategic capability. Its unique design, historical significance, and operational versatility contribute to its legacy in aviation history. So, the Vulcan was first delivered in 1956, and deliveries of the improved Vulcan started in 1960. There were 136 of these aircraft built. 136 of them, lads, right? It had no defensive weaponry, initially relying on high speed and high altitude to evade interception. ECMs, or electronic countermeasures, were employed in the B-1 and then later the B-2. There was a change to low-level tactics in the mid-1960s, and in the 1970s, 9 of the Vulcans were adapted for maritime radar reconnaissance, and 6 of them were later converted to the K2 tankers. After retirement by the RAF, one example, XH-558, named the Spirit of Great Britain, was restored for use in display flights and air shows. 2 other B-2s, the XL-426 and XM-655, have been kept in taxable condition for ground runs and demonstrations. XH-558 flew the last time in October 2015, and it's also being kept in a taxable condition. Its farewell flight was a 1,000-mile trip. It flew 1,000 miles, lads. How cool is that? Now, navigation there, Murphy. Right, left turn. We're going to head over here to about, I would say, 300 degrees. See what happens as we make our way over the Irish Sea until we land at Aldergrove. Now, where are we at? Look at the state of this. Like, what a presence in the sky, lads. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely stunning. Look at all you guys flying with us as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, we'll keep in this view for the moment as we turn. 300 should nearly do it. Let's see what happens. I might need to adjust that a little bit further now in a moment. But anyway, we'll keep reading. The origin of the Vulcan and the other V bombers linked with the early British atomic weapon program and the nuclear deterrent policies. Britain's atom bomb program began with Air Staff Operational Requirement OR 1001 Issued in August 1946, this anticipated a government decision in January 1947 to authorize research and development work on atomic weapons, with the US Atomic Energy Act of 1946, known as the McMahon Act, or McMahon, having prohibited exporting atomic knowledge even to countries that had collaborated on the Manhattan Project. OR 1001 envisaged a weapon not to exceed 24 feet and 2 inches and 5 feet in diameter, 10,000 pounds or 4,500 kilos in weight. The weapon had to be suitable to be released from 20,000 to 50,000 feet. In January 1947, the Ministry of Supply distributed specification B3546 to UK aviation companies to satisfy Air Staff Operational Requirement OR 229 for a medium-range bomber land plane capable of carrying 1,000-pound bomb to a target 1,500 nautical miles away, from a base which may be anywhere in the world. Cruising speed of 500 knots at altitudes between 35,000 and 50,000 was specified. The maximum weight, when fully loaded, should not exceed 100,000 pounds. Alternatively, the aircraft was to be capable of carrying a conventional bomb load of 20,000 pounds. The similar OR-230 required a long-range bomber with a 2,000 nautical mile range and a maximum weight of 200,000 pounds when fully loaded. This requirement was considered too exacting. 6 companies submitted technical brochures to the specification, including that of Avro. Required to tender by the end of 1947, work began on receipt of specification 3546 at Avro, led by the technical director Roy Chadwick and chief designer Stuart Davies. The type designation was the Avro 698. As was obvious to the design team, conventional aircraft could not satisfy. Thank you, Keane. Hello, Keane. Good to see you, man. Conventional aircraft couldn't satisfy them. Avro were aware that Alexander Lippisch had designed a Delta Wing fighter and considered the same Delta configuration would be suitable for their bomber. The team estimated that an otherwise conventional aircraft with a swept wing of 45 degrees would have doubled the aircraft requirement in terms of weight, and realising that swept wings increased the longitudinal stability, the team deleted the tail, the empennage, and supported the fuselage. Effectively, by having this shape, it made the entire fuselage extremely robust, making it carry savage weights. That was the bonus of having this one complete Delta wing. It just made the thing, rock solid. Do you know what I mean? So, Avro had no flight experience of a Delta wing. The company planned 2 smaller experimental aircraft based on the 698. The 1/3 scale model, a 707, for low-speed handling, and 1/2 scale model, the 710, for high-speed handling. 2 of each were ordered, and the 710 was cancelled when it was considered too time-consuming to develop. A high-speed variant of the 707 was designed in its place, and it was known as the 707A. The first, VX-784, flew in September 1949, but it crashed a month later, killing the airplane and armament experimental establishment's chief test pilot and squadron leader, Samuel Eric Essler. The second low-speed 707, built with the uncompleted nose section, containing an ejection seat, and redesignated 707B, flew in September 1950, piloted by Wing Commander Roland Rowley Fake. Now, we can get into the prototypes and all this, but the name is where it's pretty cool, right? After its Farnborough appearance, the future name of the Avro 698 was subject of speculation. Avro had strongly recommended the name Ottawa in honour of the company's connection with Avro Canada. The weekly magazine Flight suggested Albion, after rejecting Avenger, Apollo, and is it Asage? I don't know. Anyway, the Chief of Air Staff preferred a V-class of bombers, and the Air Council announced the following month that the 698 would be called Vulcan, after the Roman god of fire. In January 1953, VX-77 or 770 was grounded for the installation of wing fuel tanks, and Armstrong Siddeley, the Sapphire engines of thrust were installed. So here's the thing, right? You're saying, right, okay, it's a grand plane, Murph. They called it the Vulcan, and it can do this and it can do that, and it's all wonderful, brilliant, great show, and all of that. Could you imagine what the reaction would have been like from the Soviets at the time? This was an all British built aircraft. It wasn't a shared venture. It wasn't like, you know, the Americans and the even the Europeans. This was British Engineering 101. They built this from the ground up, from scratch, right? And as I said, like 4 years, somewhere between 4 and 5 years between releasing the Avro Lancaster, they were designing this. It's like something out of, like, the aliens came back and visited. I mean, look at the technology, apart from the engines, look at the technology in terms of what the aircraft was capable of as we just now pass 20,000 feet and we're only at around 80% thrust. This is friggin' nuts, lads, right? Spool her up there a bit. So awesome seeing you guys here. From tomorrow, lads, you're all going to get the chance to fly the Vulcan yourselves. How cool is that, right? Right, let's duck down the owl, whatchamacallit. Let's see, can we level off here? Just around 20,000 feet or so. We don't need to go too high. It should go all the way up. You can see now that our Mach indicator is now alive. It's based on our speed and altitude. We're on the Southeast Asian server. If you'd like to join us, anyone can join us. Jump on in. I'm just going to get myself trimmed up here so everything's running tickety-boo. So, like, it handles somewhat like a fighter in terms of its rolling capabilities. At the speed of a fighter. And when you think about it, bombers prior to this, from Bomber Command, I mean, it was the Lancaster. I mean, that's where they were at. These things introduced a completely new type of flying. And out of all the V bombers that were designed, this one stood out a mile. Because it was so advanced. The Delta Wing, right, so you look at that leading edge, even in today's standard, it's known as cutting edge. In terms of how do they manage to get such maneuverability, pitch control, stability out of that wing. I mean, it's fantastic. Ah, good man, Hammy, you got the gadget. War Hamster, great to see you, dude. The mug is dead. Long live the mug. Brilliant. Jesus, that didn't take long to get there. Holy crap. Hope you're well, my dude. Hope you're well. This thing, well, considering I'm after getting it this far, that you should be all kind of happy about that. Do you know, you'll manage it yourself for sure, right? Now, what else are we going to? Just some cool stuff here, right? Wait till you hear this. In 1954, the Royal Australian Air Force recognised that the English electric Canberra might soon become outdated, and potential replacements such as the Boeing B-47E or even the Handley Page Victor and the Vulcan were considered. Political pressure for a Canberra replacement came to a head in 1962, by which time supersonic bombers and strategic strike aircraft such as the V-5 Vigilante and of course the F-111 became available. Had the Australian government pre-ordered the TSR-2, several V bombers including Vulcans which would have been made available for them. However, the F-111 was ordered in its stead. Wait till you hear this. The Argentinians. In the early 1980s, Argentina approached the UK with a proposal to buy a number of Vulcans. An application made in September 1981 requested the early availability of a suitable aircraft. With some reluctance, British ministers approved the export of a single aircraft but emphasised that clearance had not been given for the sale of a larger number. A letter from the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office to the Ministry of Defence in January 1982 stated that little prospect was seen of this happening without ascertaining the Argentine interest and whether such interest was genuine. On the face of it, strike aircraft would be entirely suitable for an attack on the Falklands. Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands less than 3 months later, after which a British embargo on the sale of all military equipment was quickly imposed. What? Imagine if that went the other way. Could you imagine, right? Anyway, despite its radical and unusual shape, the airframe was built along traditional lines, except for, the highly stressable parts, right? The whole structure was manufactured from standard grades of light alloy. The airframe is broken down into a number of major assemblies, and the centre section, a rectangular box containing the bomb bay and engine bays, bounded by the front and rear spars of the wing. The intakes were centred to the fuselage, the front fuselage incorporating the pressure cabin, the nose, the outer wings, the leading edge, the wing trailing edge, and the rear end of the fuselage, and a single swept tail fin with a single rudder was on the trailing edge. A 5-man crew, accommodated with pressure cabin on 2 levels, the first pilot and co-pilot sitting on a Martin Baker 3K ejection seat, while on the lower level, the navigator plotter, and the air electronics officer, or AEO, sat facing rearwards and would abandon the aircraft via the entrance door. The original B-35-46 specification sought a jettisonable, crew compartment, but this requirement was removed in a subsequent amendment as the rear crew's escape system was often an issue of controversy, such as when practicing a practical refit scheme. Rudimentary 6th seat forward of the navigator radar was provided for an additional crew member. The B-2 had additional 7th seat opposite the 6th seat forward of the AEO. The visual bomb aimer's compartment could be fitted with a T4 bomb sight, and in many B-2s this space housed a vertically mounted Vinton F-95 Mark X camera for assessing simulated low-level bombing runs. Hey, Kingsman is here, good to see you.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
It's all happening now. Oh, who's in charge? What's gas, right? These things were used as well for aerial reconnaissance. They were fitted with all sorts of mad cameras and all the devil knows what as well. Do you know, we're still climbing. Murphy, would you go handy there now? Who's in charge? Where are we at on our little map? Oh, we're fairly booting now. We're heading to Belfast first. We'll be there in a few minutes. Now, you can also, if you wanted to, right, you can actually activate it now, a little GPS unit, if you wanted to. If you wanted to. Kind of handy. Doesn't really belong there, but you know what I mean. Matt Bacon, good to see you. Many thanks for the follow, dude. The cockpit just looks...
Yeah, baby, yeah.
The cockpit just looks cramped, hot and smelly. I love it. Doesn't it? It looks superb, man. Look at the views behind us, look. Yeah, we don't want GPS. Go there. But it's there. The option is there should you want it. Look at the friggin' view. Look at the state of that for the view, look. Isn't it gorgeous? Tarnish is over Cork. Fuel was carried in 14 big tanks. 4 in the centre fuselage, above and to the rear of the nosewheel bay, and 5 in each of the outer wings. The tanks were split into 4 groups of almost equal capacity, each normally feeding its respective engine. Cross-feeding was possible. The centre of gravity was automatically maintained by the electric timers, which sequenced the booster pumps on the tanks. The Mark II aircraft could be fitted with 1 or 2 additional fuel tanks in the bomb bay. Despite being designed before a low radar cross-section or other stealth factors were even in consideration, an RAE technical note of 1957 stated that of all the aircraft so far studied, the Vulcan appeared by far the simplest radar echoing object due to its shape. Only one or two components contributed significantly to the echo at any aspect, compared with the three or more on most other types. So kind of like a happy surprise. The thing, although not being designated stealth, it was hard to pick up on radar due to the actual shape of the airplane. You know what I mean? Jefferson 2001, the man, myth and legend, has rambled in. It's good to see you, Jefferson. Look at the state of it. I keep saying it. The Avro Vulcan, this will release tomorrow. And the whole point of what I'm doing tonight is to give you, do you know what I mean? Check it out, man. Enjoy it and learn a couple of things about it. So hopefully when you can jump in tomorrow, you're going to be fairly okay getting there. So for our first flight, what we've done a manual startup of each engine, all four engines. We have the autopilot up and running. And so far, so good. We're kind of hand trimming it out. We've started our descent now because that is the Irish Sea. We're tipping across. We're going to do a landing over in Belfast. That's our first stop. And then we tally-ho back to Scotland up to RAF Lossiemouth. But just to give you guys an idea of, I don't want to say how simple it is to fly because it's not simple. There's a lot of stuff you got to keep your eye on. But in terms of flying it, it's relatively simple. You've kind of pointed in the right direction. You monitor your fuel and engine. That's pretty much it. There's nothing that's going to time you out straight away and explode. Now, Just Flight have included a ton of systems with this thing. Pressurization, oxygen, fuel, pumping, air refueling. Its armament is there. Bomb bay doors are there. There's a whole load of stuff going on. But don't let that scare you. I mean, you can still apply the same, well, can I just turn it on and go flying? Of course you can. This can be as in-depth, high fidelity in terms of systems as you want, or it can just be, look how cool this thing is, just cruising along. It's quite good, quite accessible. Now, 2 prototype Vulcans were finished in a gloss white livery. What? Early Vulcans first left the factory in a natural metal finish. The front half of the nose, or the radome, was painted black, and the rear half was painted silver. Frontline Vulcans had a finish of anti-flash white and the RAF Type D roundels. Frontline Vulcan B1A and B2s were similar, but with pale roundels. The roundels, of course, are the RAF, or the roundels, yeah? That's a roundel. My logo is a roundel. The TTM, that's a roundel, yeah? That's what that comes from. Anyway. With the adoption of low-level attack profiles in the mid-1960s, the aircraft were given a glossy sea grey medium and dark green DPM, or disruptive pattern material, essentially camouflage. Yeah, that's what that comes from, DPM. It was given to that on the upper surfaces, while the undersurfaces and Type D roundels in the mid-1970s received a similar scheme with matte camouflage, light aircraft grey undersides, and low visibility roundels. Ooh. Now the avionics, Jesus, right? How much is it? It's like $30. The Blaze, good to see you. Am I missing anyone in the chat? Lads, if you say something and I don't catch it, just start kind of... Oh, wait, Awfully Man, see? Hang on a second. Where's that gone? Awfully Man is here. It's good to see you. Jim, good to see you. Awfully Man says, Murph, good evening. Can you give me Mrs. Janine a hello in your most seductive voice? Hang on, we'll make this even. Janine, come here for a minute. We need to talk to you. Hang on a second now. Say Janine. Hello? Hello? Right now, come on, that was fairly good, wasn't it? I mean, Jesus, I even, felt myself. You're right. Yeah, baby. Right, welcome in, Awfully Man, good to see you. And Janine, of course, you're most welcome. Right? Jesus. Yeah, if I've missed anyone in the chat, lads, just start shouting. Rambach Mortis here, good to see you. Murph, are we off course? I couldn't tell you. Oh, wait, I should be able to... No, we're not, we're okay, we're okay. We'll make a small little course correction here, lads. Let's go down to about 290. How's that? He just made everyone in Tipperary go red in the face. All right. Thanks, Keen. I'll take that as a compliment before you even change it, because I know you're going to. Brilliant. Okay, this didn't get weird at all, says MuseFan. I used to have another button for that.
Oh, behave.
It wasn't that. I had another button for that. Anyway, it's all grand. Murph mind trick, right? Isle of Man is to our 11 o'clock. Isle of Man, you say? Yeah. Jesus.
You haven't a clue what you're doing.
Thank you, Eagle Airways. Very kind of you. No, we're doing well, lads. We're doing well. Morning, Murph and all. This is a beautiful bird. Remember seeing it when I was a young lad at Farnborough. Oz Nomad, welcome aboard, man. It's good to see you. Now, landing this thing. Well, I say landing. Of course, I mean a controlled crash. It's not very easy. It takes quite a lot of practice because it's prone to kind of stalling. The angle of attack is going to be so much so, as we're coming into land, you have to maintain a certain angle of attack, but because it's one single delta wing, well, as soon as you start pulling up, more of that friggin' delta wing starts hitting the air, and it actually starts producing its very own aerodynamic braking. And that's without even putting spoilers in there. So we've got to be very careful. We also need to be very careful because of the height of the landing gear. This will not be an easy operation at all. Okay, more to the left here, Murph. Turn, you devil. Turn, you devil. There she turns. I don't know why she's trying to track up. I need to find out from Scott why it's automatically hitting a new kind of a... You know what I'm saying? I need to figure that one out. We're learning together. Let's call it putting it down. Yeah. Putting it down works. Yeah, of course it will. That'll absolutely work. But yeah, see the way she's kind of jumping up in altitude? I need to figure out why that is. Unless I keep altitude locked. But see, like whenever I put it on glide and track, she's trying to remember what height I have it set to, and I'm unsure how to change the height. Does that make sense? More reading is definitely required. Jesus, look at the amount of stuff going on here, isn't it? Only, like, it's going to come with a 4K textures, which are these, right? But just to make things, you know, it's also going to have, oh, hang on, autopilot, elevator, servo. That's what I want. So how do we change that, Divil? See the servo? I need to edit that. All right, hang on. Sure, we'll read the manual. Where's the guy when you need him? Anyway, it's also going to ship with 8K textures, lads. 8K textures, amazing. Right, okay. Well, we're going to do something I haven't done in quite a while. Murphy's going to read the manual. Elevator servo. Elevator servo. Oh, just go to autopilot. How's that? Autopilot. Basic information displayed on... That's okay. ILS, that's okay. Director, that's okay. Find me the autopilot. Director horizon. Number 6. Pitch pointer. Yes. Beam compass. Yes. Various components. Yes. The enunciator is a synchronizing knob window showing the enunciator arrows. Height, approach, Mach, or datum. Okay, that could be in there. Height. Pitch directives are given to maintain the aircraft and altitude was flying at the time of selection. Aha. But what I want to do is stop the devil from climbing. You know what I mean? 8K, is that like 4 more? Right? RTFM. We'll get there. Power supplies, autopilot. A Mark 10 autopilot is installed as part of the flight system. That's okay. Here we go, right? Track. 2-position push-pull switch operated using the left click. The autopilot engaged track switch pulled up. The aircraft tracked the heading set with the heading index. or the ILS localizer beam. Glide. The aircraft will alter the pitch in accordance with the glide path. Okay, but for some reason, if I turn off the glide, right, it wasn't actually following the, whatchamacallit. See, that glide is turned off. Yeah, I can't change me gadget. If I turn glide and track off, now I can kind of pitch up or down. Oh, I'm saying that she's not liking that either. Track is on. Will she just like nose down for me? Okay. Is this new or an old port? Tailhook, it's new. It's new. But if you know how to fly the older ones, it's like the same aircraft. I mean, they didn't change it. You know what I mean? Okay, so as we descend here at an absolute alarming rate of knots, start bringing the power back. Man alive, the sounds. So we are at 20,000 feet, descending nicely. Look at the cut of it. I want to watch her speed here. Almost 400 knots, isn't that incredible? Fly past? Sure. Oh, lads, that's absolutely class looking. The noise of these when they flew overhead, oh, dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we're heading to the airport Echo Golf Alpha Alpha, Aldergrove here in Belfast. RAF Aldergrove. Belfast International, as she's known. Does the ram air turbine work? Yes. Yes, it does. I don't know how well this will work, Dougal, but should we give it a shot? I say it's going to work. Okay, mind your ears, lads. Do it again, do it again! What weather am I using? I'm using, it's called Sublime, Hammy. It's just a default weather preset. Sublime. We're not going to get any work done today. Jesus, look at the view. Right, where are we going? Over there somewhere. Yes. Isn't Sublime from Rex? Yes, it is, Rambog. That's the one. Okay, choice of runway here, lads. It's going to be an arrival onto runway 25. That's what we're aiming for. We're shocking high. But I think we'll be alright. How do I do the flyby sounds? It took me 26 years. No, it didn't. The drone. Takes a bit of getting used to though. Hey, 4Prawns, good to see you. My PC. Oh, Jesus, don't hit the ground. Wait, what's my altitude? Oh, Jesus. We're pretty low. I thought that was 18,000 feet. It wasn't. Holy magoli. Right. Careful now. This is all going to happen terribly quick. Is that the runway over there? I think so. think that's the runway just over there, look. Oh wait, now is that Belfast City, you big idiot? Go handy now, Murphy. Yeah, that was Belfast City. Don't mind me at all, lads. For the moment, I almost landed on the wrong airport. But we will for sure enjoy the low-flying activities. So we'll do another count, shall we? Keen, you're up. Xbox pilots, press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. And if you're here for the sheer crack of it, you press number 3. Would you look at this state of it? This is all going to be terribly straightforward and nothing to worry about whatsoever. Yes. What's my speed? Right, go handy now, lads. We need to try and land the thing without... Right. Look at the state of this. The cut of it. Right, we're going over there, look. Keen Lafford said 23 in the PC, 2 on console, 195 passengers plus a Murph, and only 161 days to the Eurovision. He said, Jesus, Keen, you're on fire tonight. Okay, what's her speed? Too fast. Bring her back there, Murph. Easy does it now, lads, right? I reckon AI could replace Keen. Jesus, Hammy, I don't think so. We tried it that one time and it broke. Amazing tune. Yeah, it's from Epidemic Sound, Gaz. Okay, watch your speed. Now remember what I said about the landing lights. If you deploy your landing lights or extend your landing lights, if you're going too fast, the wind will push them back into the housing, pushes them back up into the wing. Not mad, isn't it? Will Murphy land the plane? Keen, you're up again. Press 1 if you think I'm going to nail it. Press 2 if you think I'm going to shag it. 1s or 2s in the chat now. Let's be having you. Jesus. Hang on, I need a sippage before we do this. Ah. Lights on. There's me lights coming down. Gear down. Jesus. Holy McGoly, look at the cut of this. Oh, she's all happening now, lads. Easy now, Murphy. Easy now. I could use a Twitch poll. Yeah, but that'd be too hard. Jeez, the YouTube lads are... You reckon I'm going to do well? No pressure, so... I'm not nervous. I don't even need to count. They think you'll shag it. What? Right, lads. Yes. Yes, this looks all normal so far. A little bit low on the pappies. Watch your speed. Watch your rate of descent. Jesus. This is not easy. We're all counting on you. Thanks, Steve. 100%. No bother at all. Jesus, this is not easy, lads. You need a booster seat. Up on me head. Right, we're on the poppies. Easy now, Betsy. Easy now. We want a very soft, gentle landing. There's nothing to fear here, except for Everton. This is usually, like, a very tense part of the stream, where the pilot should be really concentrating on what he's doing as opposed to looking at everyone in the chat. Ah, how he is. Right, easy.
Yeah, baby.
Jesus! Right. Holy crap, we're high. Easy. Bit of aerodynamic braking, Murph. Keep her straight. Spoilers. Go on, get her down.
Dreamy, sleepy,
Touchdown!
nighty, snoozy, snooze.
200 feet. Get me parachute out. Where's me
60% of
parachute?
the time, it works every time.
Look at the state of this. We're after doing a thing with the yoke. Brilliant. Did you just see what happened?
To my secret underground base.
Ah, brilliant, lads. Absolutely brilliant. Am I going to run out of runway? No, we're okay.
Can I get a refund?
No refunds. We've jettisoned the parachute. We have landed safely. We've done a thing, friends. Brilliant. 203 feet per minute. And a parachute left on the floor. Absolutely fantastic.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
We need some sort of a victory trumpet for this. Jesus. Don't miss your turn off, Murph. Go on, you devil. Ah, sure, it's all in the planning. All in the planning. Ye of little faith. Well, it was 50-50 really, wasn't it? I mean, there was every chance I was going to butcher it. I joined just in time to see the behemoth land.
In a glass case of emotion.
Brilliant. A Ryanair landing theme? That'd be ridiculous. Look at Murphy with his parachute. Oh yeah, here's the thing. So after you land the Devil, you need to recharge your parachute. Because if you look carefully, there's a big gaping... Right, we can't be fine with that gadget open. That'd lead to problems, right? What I need to do here, lads, we're going to turn off multiplayer for the moment. Because we're now going to do what's called a rapid start. Right, so if you need to reset this gadget, you go down to your EFB and you'll see reset brake chute. Click on that and all is well in the realm. See that? So we're looking good now, right? Bossman Gaming, good to see you. Right, I'm taxiing down this way, completely going out of the wrong... Well, I'm going the wrong way. I want to kind of take off on that runway. It's a very short runway. Runway 35. What do you reckon, lads? That might be the sexiest landing gear ever. It would behave. I thought you said it was the sexiest landing. It's a proper bonnet, isn't it? Ah, lads, isn't it stunning? Isn't it stunning? So, oh, Jesus, don't go off the... Shh, shh. It's fine. No one had to see that. Right, it's also an ATV. We're going to drive it across the grass. Gibbo, I totally nailed the landing. You'd be very proud of me. Right, what I need to do now is get myself back over this neck of the woods. And then we're going to do... Well, I could probably just appear myself over there. just to speed things up, because I know it is getting late and it's a school night. So let's get back to about here. Go down here a bit, Murph. And I'm going to do a rapid start, right? So we're going to park ourselves here as if we were landing up or lining up. Is that fair enough? So we'll shut her down and start her up again. All right. So parking brake is set on. Now with the engines running, we're going to shut them down. So we're going to turn off number 4 and number 1. Okay. And while we're here, we're going to reconnect the ground power and the air starter.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Rick killed a guy. Bubba Van Bran, good to see you, man. The sounds are just absolutely unbelievable. They're unbelievable. Right, I'm up here now. So what are we currently on? This is still running. Yes. Yes. And our generators are now offline naturally because the engines are off, yeah? But we're still, all our electrical stuff is running perfect. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do what's called a rapid engine start. All 4 engines are going to come online at the same time. I kid you not. So what I need to do is turn on my little engine air switches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to put the ignition on. And when we click on the little rapid fire, you're going to hear everything spool up and make all sorts of cool noises, right? Now to do this, we're going to open up the 4 fuel valves and we're going to bring our power up to roughly 50%. You do this for a rapid engine start, right? Now let's hope and pray this works okay. Are we ready? The sounds. And voila, all 4 engines are now up and running. Sweet. So we're going to shut these off. And we continue through our flows. So we're going to turn off the engine air. And we want to go back up to our systems. Generators are all back online. They're all being fed with power. Perfect. Alternators are synced. Everything is as it should be. Disconnect the ground power and the air starter. And we'll do a couple of quick checks down here. So all our flight controls, as we left them, remember we already did this. All this was set up. If you're unsure how to start the aircraft, it's just at the start of the stream. It's about an hour in. Right. What else do we need to do here now? They're all looking good. So temperatures and pressures, that's what we're after, right? So engines are idling, oil pressure is good, engine temperatures are all good. Our parachute has been rearmed. Autopilot is turned on but not engaged. And everything else is exactly where we need it to be. Right. So this aircraft, it's going to be released in a matter of hours. Hours, lads, right? Hey, Aspen is here. Good to see you, man. Too bad they're not black powder charged starters like on the black charged starters. Yeah, like doesn't that yoke flame out, Steve, didn't it? It's almost like a friggin' afterburner when you start them up. What other aircraft had chargers? A lot of the piston engine aircraft had chargers you had to put in. Isn't it gorgeous? Listen to the sounds here for a second. Old Veteran 965 has subscribed. Jesus, Scott, tier 2 for 35 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Scott. That's amazing. So these engines, the Olympus 301s, the 301s don't have that iconic howl. The 201s do. When you buy the aircraft, it will include both the 201 and the 301 Olympus engine variant. So you'll get the howl if you want it. No bother. You can even fly the 301s and just tell the gadget from the EFB to say, hey, give me the 201 engine sounds. They're up here, look. Aircraft settings, 201 engines. But it won't work in this one that I have. They're not ready, Kev. They're not ready. I think it's got an only flights account. Only flights? They're very good brakes, yeah. They weren't ready for the release. I think they only got the sounds completed today. Considering it's releasing tomorrow, that's good going. Let's listen to them from back here now. Mind your ears, lads. This is going to get tasty. Like, if that isn't the cat's whiskers, right? It's like the it's like THX ad, right? Do you know what I mean? Nicholas, thank you very much indeed for the follow. You're very welcome aboard. Right, lads, so for this flight, we're going to be taking off here from Belfast, Aldergrove, and we're going to be rambling over up to Scotland to RAF Lossiemouth. Now, we're going to be going maximum speed, and let's see what this machine can actually do, right? So we're going to taxi into position. Parking brake coming off. Stand the landing lights. Are my engine air switches off? Yeah. So we taxi forward. It's one of the nicest panels ever. Hang on, I'll show you the nighttime lighting once again. It's just incredible, right? Hang on, we'll tidy things up here a bit. Hang on. Okay, we're good. Check out the lighting, look. Isn't that absolutely superb? Isn't it superb, right? It's only gorgeous. Okay, continue our taxi. The frames are perfect, Johnny. Install size? Good question. .15 gigs installed. Now, granted, that doesn't have the 201 sounds, so probably 8.5, maybe 9 gigs. I would say 9 gigs would be about right. Okay, get ourselves lined up. It's stunning. Alrighty. So I got the brakes on. Little hop. There we go. Now, runway heading here is what? 25, is it? 250. .250 set. Okay, friends. Let's go for it. Power coming in. Toes on the brakes. the roars. There's 100 knots. Yep, see Daisy. Positive rate. Gear up. Look at the state of this thing. Speed and power. Got our multiplayer turn back on. Isn't that insane? Isn't it just gorgeous? Okay, so we're going to circle all the way around to the left, and we're just waiting on multiplayer to activate. Let's hope the servers behave. Give it a moment to load in. Just thinking about it. There we go. Look at this. Look at the cut of it. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? It's stunning. Becky Pilot, good to see you. I don't have any replayed, my dude, but just play it back there on YouTube. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's mad. She melts the heart of a cold-blooded hamster such as myself. Wait, what? Oh, the little one. Oh, yeah. Hammy, how's that going for you? How's all the hamsters? Wait, how are the little war hamsters? Wait, how's the little war hamster? That's better. Look at this. It's like effortless, absolutely effortless getting up to this altitude. So you'll notice this tomorrow when you're flying it. It's actually quite hard to pitch down. So a tip to help you pitch down is actually bank the aircraft left or right. That'll allow you to kind of put the nose down a little bit faster. Now, we also have we have a couple of things actually, you're right. We'll arm it with BJs then, right? Well, you can put in the big massive yoke. Oh wait, can I not load this up now? Oh. You probably have to be on the ground to load her up. Like if you wanted to open the bomb bay doors, for instance. Like, look at the size. Right? Like, Jesus. Do you reckon you can land it on a carrier? I'd probably be able to land it on a carrier. Well, I think, well, yeah, you probably could actually, yeah. You probably could. Some crack though, wouldn't it? Look at it, lads. Isn't it stunning? Absolutely stunning. do you know what I mean? You just have too much fun. That's the word I was looking for. I knew it was a word that started with F. Flyman. It is a touch of class, this thing, isn't it? It's only deadly, right? Are we going the right way? We are. We're going the right way. 16,000 feet, look. Jesus. Easy now and, you know, trim her out there, you know. What's her speed? 330 knots? 320 knots. Deadly. Right. We're heading into Scotland. Look at the flying by you guys. That's insane. So many awesome planes with us tonight. Raphael. I got it right the first time. There's even Raphael's with us. Brilliant. I cannot wait for you to fly this tomorrow. I really can't. Oh, it's just like... Oh. Murph, are we going to make a run over to the nearby Skoda dealership? Right? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Thought it was a Rafale. Was it though? I don't know. I'm confused now. Raphael. Or a Rafale. Look at the nice planes. Yes, they're nice planes. Who's with us? Look. Bart is flying, Druid Zeus, B. Carlo, Crying Zonda, Danny Malloy, Muse Fan, Tog Rafa, Crossroads, Baranko is there, Zythe, Black Ice Gabe, Wombat is with us, Captain Mewingtons, Reckless Ray, Sterling. These are looking absolutely beautiful. Zythe is back there as well. Nice, lads. Raphael. Je suis Raphael. Comment allez-vous? Parlez-vous le français, anglais, agus arish, Tomé, gumma. Don't mind me. I'm just one of the many F-18s. I didn't see a prime. You're looking well. Right, we seem to be going roughly the right direction at our 15,000 feet. Très bon. Mon ami. Très bien. Right. Parlez-vous le français? Très bien, merci. What was it? You have to do the accent. It makes it sound more convincing, you know. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Do you know? Or, as I like to call it, there's just Tom. Où est le café, s'il vous plaît? S'il vous plaît. Goblin Zeus says we do not pronounce the E in the end much. That wasn't terribly French. There was a bit of German in that. Speaking of which, Kaharia put me onto a website of a clothing maker. They make clothing, right? Anyway, you can get leather jackets, but you can get like the original RAF jackets. You can even get some Luftwaffe jackets and the Top Gun stuff. Pete Beef, thank you very much. 5 months, dude. God almighty, Pete. Thank you very much indeed. That's the support tonight has been immense. It's been insane. Thank you very, very much indeed. I really, really do appreciate it. If you are watching us over on the land of YouTube, I have a button. Don't forget to press the like and subscribe and get notified bell icon thingy. Seemingly, the more likes a video has, you know, Mr. YouTube sits back and says, yes, I'll show more people the video or the stream. Not everyone looks at a live stream on YouTube, but when they do, you know. Je m'appelle Murph, and I read everything. I will give it to you, Keen. It was worth it. Ooh. But yes. So, am I getting a jacket for Christmas then? I don't know. I'm after getting... Stuff has started to arrive that I've ordered last week for my new studio rebuild, right? I need to get black paint. And the IKEA stuff I think is due out on Friday. So like, where this camera is over here... Goosh. Dr. Sisu is here for 23 friggin' months, look! Thank you very much indeed. Or words to that effect. So yeah, so this camera angle that we currently have, well, this is all going to change in a couple of weeks. Well, it won't change much. It'll change a little bit in a couple of weeks, right? Because I'm going to have a desk over here. So I'll be like, sitting like this now. Hello. Do you know? As opposed to kind of this direction. Iron Knob Airways, good to see you. Bonsoir. Bonsoir even. Bonsoir. Jesus. I just got new Wing Wing helicopter collective. Oh, nice. Old Brennan says, not too much, I hope. I kind of... Yeah, no, I like it too. Did you get the new wide lens so you can fit in the mallet? What did I get in the post today? I got more lights. Yeah, more lights. And what else did I get? Oh, that's it. I've more stuff coming tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, stuff is coming on Thursday, and then I'm thinking the IKEA stuff is coming on Friday. And then, like, it's going to be absolute carnage in here. Like, the whole, everything, out that way. The whole lot. Don't know what's going to happen here. Used jocks, I'll have them as well. Never have too many lights, right? You need a Flying Tigers leather jacket with the patch on the back. Wouldn't that be nice? Will it fit, though? I'm not quite sure. Oh, look! For this angle, we can see much better your grey hair. Wait, what? That's my reaction in its entirety, right? In its entirety, lad. But you can kind of get the general gist of things from in here, right? Do you know, we have the very fancy menu that Gibbo built. And then behind it, we have the shelf of many things. And behind that, again, you have Concorde, the Lego version, right? But you can't see what's behind the camera. And that's what I need to... Well, there won't be anything really now behind that camera. Because everything's going to be over here, you see. Do you know? But we'll see. I'm looking forward to the old change, you know. Women's knickers. Who? What? Reggie Pilot, what happened? Something happened. Did I miss something? Did I miss something?
Hello there.
Hello there. Did Reggie Pilot do something? Or is it Recce Pilot?
Appreciate the comeback, good buddy.
Something happened! Oh, I did! I just got something! You absolute legend, he just did a thing! Super chatted! 20 of those dollars. Thank you very much indeed! That'll go to the Murph's getting a different studio fund. I've nothing new to show you yet, but I will. I'll have a ton of news. Oh, wait till oh, hang on.
Hello there.
Hang on. So I got some of these today. Oh, Jesus. Who came in the door there? Mr. Pingaloo. Thank you very much. So I got these gadgets. No ordinary gadgets. You see, what these lads are going to do, these sit on top of the cabinets, and then the desk sits on top of these fellas. And I ordered 6 packets of them. And they come with teeny tiny screws, which I thought were much bigger, and now I'm kind of worried that they're not going to be big enough. Remember I told you I measured the place? Listen, it'll be fine. I'm not worried, right? I'm not worried. Is this the new Vulcan? England VF4? Why, yes, it is. 'Tis that of a new Vulcan. We're not landing yet. Turn that off. But yeah. There's going to be loads of stuff happening here in a while. Do you know? Size doesn't matter, Murph. Thanks, Keen. Jesus. That gadget that Kibble made, it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? It only took him a day. Uh-oh. Why are we diving? Are we for fuel?
Captain, I believe I speak for everyone here, sir, when I say... to hell with our orders.
Yes, Mr. Data. Do you know what I just noticed here, lads? The fuel tanks are swishing and swashing and doing the divil because we're moving. Look, if I add in a little bit of up and downy stuff, look, up. Look at that. The fuel needles and the tanks are moving because, well, it's simulating the fuel moving in the thing. Murph, can you show us the Vulcan in the dark? I can. Ooh. And very, And then outside... I mean, look at the state. Holy crap, we're supersonic. We're at supersonic speeds, lads. There's every chance we're going to break it. It shouldn't be doing supersonic speeds. Look at the state of it. Wait for it. That's pretty... That's... Jesus. That's pretty full on. Oh, look, we're at Mach 1 and descending rapidly like a man possessed with things and stuff. Oh, Jesus, pull her up there, Murph. Holy crap, slow her down, Betsy, will you? Easy now. Keane Lafford had a magic gig over the weekend. It was disastrous. I have another one tomorrow evening. I hope this one goes better. Keane, we learn from our mistakes. And sometimes we're just stubborn and keep making them. Never change who you are. Good, bad or indifferent. Never ever change. It was a reference to Father Jack's guess to what he thought would be the next advent calendar. All right. Drink! Girls! Yeah. Gotcha now. I don't think it was ever made to be, or it was made to go Mach 1. There were some reports that it could, but not under its own power. Like, you'd want to be doing something stupid like I was, you know, putting it in a dive. Look at this, though. Over Sean Connery territory now. Ozymandias, you take care. We'll see you soon, my dude. We're going to be landing here now very shortly, lads. Man alive. Would you look at the cut of it? So they had a number of these bomb dispersal bases, effectively Jesus. Effectively, Captain Mounting is in a rush. Effectively, they had these areas in which the Vulcan could be deployed from. Not just the Vulcan, but the other V-bombers. If something isn't meant to do a thing, this community will find a way to do that thing. That's what we do. You also have, like, your acceleration G gadget, right? So ideally, you don't want to be pushing this thing over plus or negative Gs at all, because the stress it would put on the aircraft would be like freaking nuts. Ram air turbine release. More hamsters in a Hawker Hunter look. Looking good. Ah, lads, these are looking fantastic. Absolutely beautiful back there now, lads. Beautiful. What would happen if I do hit the old ram air turbine? Will we turn it on for the crack? What does this switch do? No, that's not what we want. The ram air turbine. If I was a ram air turbine, where would I live? Hang on. Let's check the map. The ram. Hang on, we'll find it. Ram air turbine. Ram air valve. Jesus. Hang on, we'll find it. Ram air valve. The ram air valve. Oh, look. There's a switch for that over here, look. Who come in the door there? Condor, you're very welcome in. Please say potatoes. Potatoes. We've made his day. We said potatoes. What do we do here now? Hang on a second, look. Pressurized selector, that's grand. Continue on the cabin heat and pressure controls. Set the two cabin air switches to shut. Ensure the ram air valve is shut. What if we opened up the old ram air valve? Like, just for science. Wait now. It's over here somewhere. Ram air valve. Port engines. I'm already worried about doing stuff here. Oh, it doesn't like that. Flood flow return. Hang on. We'll do a thing here now. Ram air turbine. Ram air valve. Ram air turbine. Page 22, Murphy. Page 22. Page 22. Here we go. A ram air turbine housed in the underside port air intake can be lowered into the airstream to provide power for electrical services in an emergency. Okay. When the pilot pulls the rat release toggle, the rat release into the airstream and non-essential loads are shed automatically, resulting in a cartridge start of the AP or AAPP. The rat is ready to supply loads within 2 seconds. The output can be checked on the alternator control by pressing the rat test button. It cannot be connected to the synchronizing bus bar unless number 2 alternator has a breaker open. Once the rat has been released, it cannot be retracted again in flight. Reload the aircraft or restart the flight to return the rat to the stowed position. Shall we press the ram air turbine release or shall we leave it? That, my friends, is the question. Is that a cup holder? It looks like a cup holder. Many people are saying yes, yes, yes. Push the button. I just saw a huge abandoned aircraft switch. What does that do? Do it. I just pressed it. There it is. Hang on a second. I've just pressed the button. We've let the rat out of the bag. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Well, hello there, ram air turbine. Look at the state of you. Jesus. Did you notice the way everything kind of, you know, turned off and stuff? Ah, balls. Oh, my electrics are turned off. How do we fix this mess? Oh, proper balls. I can't access some of the balls. The tablet's gone! I'm after shagging it completely! The tablet disappeared! Oh! Oh dear, oh dear. Can we even get the landing gear down?
Who's in charge? You haven't a clue what you're doing.
I don't know what's after happening. Well, I do know. I'm an idiot. Oh, Jesus, look, we're all in trouble. Open that. No, don't open that. Oh! Master switch on for tank pressure. PSI is on. No, balls. I can't get back into the... This could be a bug. Oh, wait. The air brake. Do we have brakes?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Oh, dear, lads.
I mean, that really got out of hand.
Look at this big Aegis.
Okay, we can activate the landing gear, but I can't activate the shagging speed brakes. Well, the curse of... There's got to be a way we can do the speed brakes. Reset those devils now. Yes. Where's the airport?
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works every time.
The speed brakes don't come out. I've just made this incredibly difficult. Okay, fear not, lads. Yeah, it's totally fine. Where's the airport? Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Can I get a refund?
No refunds. Mayday, mayday. Murphy's pressed buttons and he doesn't know how to unpress them. So at this stage of the stream, I'd like to say, this is what not to do. Don't press that button because, well, it'll kill you. That's the self-destruct sequence. Sir Campsalot, I know, right? This should be a better landing. You can't reset the ram
Dreamy,
in flight.
sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Jesus, lads.
Surely you can't be serious.
Ah, Jesus.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
So the ram air turbine is out doing its thing, right? And thankfully my engines work. But I've lost access to the EFB and any of the electrical systems. And put it in other words, I have effectively shagged the aircraft. It's shagged, it doesn't work anymore.
Houston, we have a problem.
Shuller pilot.
Look at this big Aegis.
Jesus. Right, fuel tank indications? Nothing. We're about to fly over Inverness. How do we communicate with the people on the ground? We need to give them some sort of a sign. Ah! Okay. Okay. I've no spoilers. This ain't going to go terribly well. I need friggin' spoilers. Air brakes. Like, the button's working, but there's no pressure. How do we fix this? Automatic. What does that do?
Captain.
Captain,
I believe
how
I
soon
speak
can you
for
land?
everyone here, sir.
I can't tell. You can tell me I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Hell,
But can't you
our
take a
orders.
guess?
The stream has
Well-
gone bananas.
Not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
Oh, the ram air valve. Open it, Murphy. Yes. What did that do? Nothing. Okay, well, the ram air valve is now open. Whatever good that's after doing, lads, I couldn't tell you, right? But we'll see. No, nothing down there is worth anything. These buttons are still shagged. I can't access the main batteries. The click spot is like shagged. They're turning off the engines. Hang on, there's got to be something else over here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Open everything. Open all the. No, they don't work. Close them. Ooh. Reset. No. Right, well, it's open, right? We don't want to click abandon the aircraft. That would be bad. Pressurization, that's okay. I just. How do you get the brakes working? Like, effectively, the air brakes are like, no, we're not playing anymore. There's got to be a way to fix that. Surely there's a way to fix that. Press for emergency trim. Okay. Slow it down. Yes, that sounds like we're slowing down. Now, where's the airport? Oh, wait, balls, is that it there? There's not a hope I'm going to slow this down. I've no brakes. Tactical go around, Murphy. Don't panic.
To look at this big Aegis.
Why did my lights turn off? Right, what's going to happen here, lads? Ah, you muppet, it's the wrong airport. Look at the shadow over there, look. Jesus.
Who's in charge? You haven't a clue what you're doing.
I don't know who's in charge. Try the top electrical panel. I can't get to the panel. It could be a bug. Fear not, friends. Imagine doing the Mach loop in this. Jesus, could you imagine? Fly this way a little bit.
Yeah. We're going the wrong way.
I see that. I see. We'll fix it now. It's totally fine. I know exactly what to do. We'll figure it out. All will be well. You know.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
Yes! Yes! I've a good feeling about this, lads. I think we're actually going to make it. 180 knots. And a big long pause. Sweet llama suffering. Don't crash sim. Don't crash sim. It was doing so well, but I think it's gone. Oh no, it's alive! It's alive! It's actually alive! Well, Murphy, land this beautifully. Press 1. If you think he's going to make a complete and utter burst mattress out of it, press 2. This is terrifying. I don't know how we're going to get through this. In a world, one man, after deploying a rat, shall try and land a Vulcan. Well, there's every chance. Yeah, there's every chance I'm going to make a terrible mess of this. But sure, listen, I'm hopeful, right? Where's the runway? Oh, it's over there. Right, here we go. I wish I had friggin' spoilers. This is why I can't have nice things. Holy crap, right. Where are we at now? We're too far away. So now we know not to deploy the rat. Yes, don't deploy. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Can he make it? There's no electrical power left in the aircraft. Hydraulics are only barely even efficiently working. We do have one little switch that still works. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the landing gear. I hope it fully extends and locks. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. Yes. The gear undercarriage indicator gadget is working. It's a rat trap, baby. He gave himself just one chance. And the runway's over there a bit. What's my altitude? 3,000 feet. We're grand. What's your speed? We're gonna have to use some aero braking. Deploy the parachute as quickly as possible. And then blame someone else. Continue to fly. Look at the legs on that though. Jesus! There is nothing to fear here, friends. I have my escort to help me. Oh, Jesus! Shaggin Airport. Is it that one there? Or is it the one beyond it? Wait now. I can see clearly now. I can't see a thing. It's hard. That's not it there, is it? Not at all. It's up the road a bit. It's over here, look. That's the pretend I'll catch you out of it airport. The actual airport is up the road here a bit. Yeah. That's the decoy airport. Shame on you if you land there. I'm heading for this place, RAF Lossiemouth. The Scots are going to be out in force. Aye, we get one jump to do, my friend. You go ahead and you break a plane. You're telling me your speed brakes don't work. Oh, Jesus, I press the button. Right, here we go now. Oh, yes. Yes. Wait now. Does anyone see the runway? Zoom in there now, Murphy, me old flower. Yes. Oh, I see the runway. Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait, no, it's not that sort of flight. What do you mean, get ready to clip? Get the sounds on for dramatic effect. As we attempt to land with no brakes. Ah, Jesus, this is going to be brilliant. The sounds are so immersive. Holy crap, what's going to happen? What is going to happen? I don't know. Who's in charge now? Easy. Oh no, there's a terrible long stutter and a pause. The pipers are ready. I don't know what that was supposed to be. It's supposed to be some sort of a, you know. If we land this now, lads, there's going to be a prize for me, you know. You wonder what the metal scraping sounds are like? Yeah, so do I. Jesus, lads, we're committed. We're going in. Sit up in your chair so you can see. Holy crap, we're going in. Read the Janie. Steady now. Ah! Steady. I can't believe I've no feckin' speed brakes. What an idiot am I? Steady. Steady. I'm landing with a tailwind. Never. Steady. Oh, Jesus, we're fast. Power to idle. I've no shocking speed brakes. Get that chute ready to rock. Get down, you devil.
That's right, friends. Look at this car right here.
Touchdown.
Hello there.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Get the chute out. Did the chute deploy? No, it didn't. I've no shagging parachute. Quick, get down. There's me parachute. Ah, brilliant. Wrong button. Where is it? Over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to Scotland. We're alive. Yeah, okay, granted, I nearly drove off the taxiway, but that's the least of my concerns right now, right? Jesus, we made it! We're alive! Maidens will be singing songs about our tales. Jesus, will you taxi, you devil? Right. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Avro Vulcan, complete with rat, also known as the really adventurous thing. Ridiculously amateurish technique.
Who's in charge? You haven't a clue what you're doing.
What a way to go. That was so much fun. The sounds. This is why you don't deploy the rat unless you have a complete electrical failure. Well, that's what it's for. A ram air turbine is like, uh-oh, the plane is broken. We need to do a thing, and then it does a thing. You know what I mean? Let's ramble over here by some of the nice static aircraft. Look at this. Beautiful. This is freeware scenery, lads. RAF Lossiemouth. There you got an F-14 behind us. Who's that? Looking good. At least we know what that button does. Don't press the big button. All right. What an outstanding airplane, though. Like, it's absolute. What was the landing rate? Did anyone catch it? Look how good this is. $190. Jesus. That'll do it, donkey. That'll do it. Parking brake on. And shut her down. Like, what a way to go, right? Wait, can I trick this system into... Oh, I can. I could have done it this way. Yeah, the ram air turbine. It was doing its thing, so it was. Turn you off. There we have it, friends. We have completed our flight. That was so much fun. That was ridiculous though, wasn't it? Wasn't it ridiculous fun? Right? What an incredible airplane. Lads, the Just Flight Avro Vulcan is available tomorrow, right? And it's priced, I don't know. Where's my notes? So it's available, wait to hear this. It's available on Tuesday the 28th of November, priced at a lower consumer friendly price of £27.99 or €29.99 Euro or $32.99 American. The initial sale will be sold exclusively through justflight.com, followed by the third-party resellers, and eventually then the marketplace for both PC and Xbox. And at this time, Just Flight are unable to provide an exact date for the marketplace release. Absolutely incredible. That was so much fun. I hope you guys found the stream, I don't want to say educational, right? But hopefully it's going to help you when you jump into your Vulcan tomorrow. You'll have a bit of an idea of what the crack is all about. We will be doing a long-haul group flight with this aircraft. We'll delve more into the air-to-air refueling. We'll delve more into the systems. I mean, I'm only scraping the surface here, lads. The capabilities of what this airplane can do, in particular the autopilot. It's a lot of fun, right? It flies super well. It's one of the most immersive aircraft in the sim because the sounds are that good. They are that good, right? I mean, you hear the engine start up and shut down or whatever, but like when you get the 201 engines in there, the Olympus 201s with the howl, can you imagine? It's going to be absolutely incredible. In fact, lads, pause that for a minute. If I go to Just Flight's YouTube page, right? I don't know, because they've actually demoed the 201s. Where is it now? 6 hours ago. Avro Vulcan full sound overview. Have a listen. Have a listen to this, lads, right? Are we ready? Now mind your ears, right? Mind your ears. This is important. So that's what we can expect tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely off the friggin' charts, lads. Just for your own hearing pleasure. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, that's it for us for tonight. I'm back to you on Wednesday night. Busy stream on Wednesday. We're going to be checking out the SWS Pilatus PC-12 as we start a brand new ground school course. Over the next 3 weeks, we're joined by a real-world PC-12 pilot, and we're going to delve into the real-world technical things when it comes to flying the airplane and how SWS have transitioned those into our beloved simulator. So the real world PC-12 pilot will be there to tell us and talk to us all about what it's like to operate the real world aircraft, and we get to see how it handles in the sim. We also check out the new helicopter from Sierra Sim, the M117. We also take a look at the new Tecnam P2012. That's the one from Flight Sim Studios. And we have a new scenery to check out from Crosswind, that of Palmerston North down in New Zealand. It's very, very busy. Then on Friday, we return to the logs. We're going back to Quantum River for an epic bush trip to try and land a thing at a place which is dangerous. It's excitement levels now, lads. They're absolutely bananas. So, to everyone on YouTube, thank you very, very much indeed for tuning in, for all the likes and subscribes. It's very much appreciated. And for our friends here on Twitch, lads, the support tonight has been incredible. All the follows, subscribes, the raids, it's been incredible. Thank you very, very much indeed. I really hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll catch you again on Wednesday. So until then, enjoy your night. On Twitch, we'll do a raid. On YouTube, we'll cut to the credits. The credits, right? Jason, we're getting all sorts of follows here. Look, lads, thank you very much indeed. And we'll see you very, very soon. Take care then. Bye-bye now. Wait, take care now. Oh, yeah. Take care now. Bye-bye then. There he goes. Right, here's this Aegis. Go on, Kane, you devil, you. It's like a friggin' crow trying to come in. Look. Go on, go on. Oh, the sudden realization. Oh no, I'm not going to make it. How did he end up there? He's doing the thing. There's parked cars. Oh, it's very bumpy. Touchdown, 168. Abort, abort. Oh no, I hit a thing and it went terribly wrong. Oh no. Oh, quick. Avert your eyes. Nothing happened at all. It recorded me first landing, thank Jesus. Oh, God.